Gazing, I think that.
You started it. Well, thank you very much, Mark. Here we are at the Tottenham Stadium. Andy Reid alongside me. One of the classic English fixtures, Andy, in the Premier League, this one, and very interesting.
Yeah, brilliant. The place is packed. Really, really good game we've got on our hands tonight. Need a reaction from this Tottenham team. We expect Liverpool to really play on the front foot from the start.
Yes, Thomas Frank says in the match programme tonight, we weren't good enough at the City ground last Sunday, and I reckon most Tottenham fans would agree with that. So, underway, Tottenham against Liverpool, and Tottenham in the white shirts with the dark blue trim, blue shorts, white socks. Liverpool in their first choice colours, the all red, improving Liverpool. No Mohamed Salah, he's away, he's at the Africa Cup of Nations. They play Egypt, their first match on Monday. So he's not in the team, but just the one change for both sides. I'll run you through that again when we get a chance. But Liverpool in possession. Here is Wirtz, who turns in the central third of the field. Wirtz still without either a goal or an assist in the Premier League for Liverpool. They go back towards the edge of their own box. So Tottenham for this match. Bergvall coming in for Richarlison, who's only a substitute. So Tottenham's top scorer only on the bench. The Spurs side, Vicario, Pedro Porro, Romero, Van de Ven and Spence, Benton, Coor and Gray, and then Kudus, Bergvall, Simons and Kolo Muani. And Liverpool, with Conor Bradley coming back, he was suspended for the win against Brighton last weekend that you might have heard with us last Saturday afternoon. Gomez is injured, so that's just the one change. Alisson, Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk and Kirkes, Gravenberch, McAllister, Jones, Szoboszlai, Wirtz and Ekitike, with Liverpool attacking down the left-hand side. In comes the ball into the Tottenham box, cleared away by Romero, and it was, in fact, the offside flag is up, so it's a free kick to Tottenham on the edge of their own box. So yes, Andy Reid, Premier League midfielder, Republic of Ireland international. Liverpool improving, Andy, 5 matches unbeaten, and even though Tottenham did have that bad day at Nottingham, they have won their last 2 home matches.
Yeah, they have. I think one of them against Slavia Prague, who weren't particularly good. Don't mean to kind of take the shine off it, but this is a big test for them now today. And we mentioned about that reaction. The fans want to see the reaction from the players. They were very, very lacklustre. They didn't get after the ball, didn't compete. So they'll be expecting to see more today. This is a really stern test. Liverpool getting better all the time. Got some quality players, and we know that.
There's the first moment there, Bergvall on the ball for Tottenham. That was promising. You know, it was very positive from him, receiving the ball in the central third, went off on a run, ran out the Liverpool defence, lost possession, but Liverpool now it is coming forward with the ball down here on the right hand side, and just dragged back it was. And then there was an arm that seemed to catch Ekitike in the face, but Tottenham continue. Simons out to Kudus on the right. Kudus, left-footed ball into the box, that was intercepted. A raised foot on the edge of the penalty area, and actually referee John Brooks has stopped play now. I mentioned Ekitike took an arm in the face, he went down, he's on his back. John Brooks actually let that Tottenham attack continue until it fizzled out, and then he blew his whistle.
Yeah, I've just seen the replay of it there, and Jed Spence's driving into that midfield area, and he's going with a bit of pace. He uses his arm to kind of has a little bit of leverage to push away, and he catches Ekitike in the face. But then ones that are awkward to say, is it a natural position? Your arm generally comes up a bit when you run. Maybe it might have been a little bit too high there. Ekitike took one on the face, and the physios are on from here. But it's been a good start to this game. It's been a good tempo to it. There's a buzz around the stadium. You can see, you always feel that electricity for these big games.
Yeah, he'll be all right, Ekitike. It's just like a tap in the face with the back of his hand, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd have been interested to see if Tottenham did go on to score and it came back and VAR looked at it, would there have been a different decision? It's a tricky ones to call sometimes. I think it would have been very harsh if it was brought back and there was a foul.
Me too. I would like to think it wouldn't, but we'll never know. And Ekitike has just had to come off the field. 4 goals in his last 3 matches, actually 2 goals each in each of his last 2 Premier League matches, and he now has reached double figures with Liverpool. So no Salah, there's no Gakpo either today. He's not among the substitutes, he's got an injury, so Isak on the bench. But here come Tottenham down the right. Kudus, Simons, Then the left-footed cross from Kudus, a stretch. Oh, it's rattling around inside the box, and the shot is deflected wide. Archie Gray it was inside the penalty area, latched onto it. He's never scored for Tottenham. In fact, he's never scored a senior goal in a competitive match. He had a go, but it was blocked wide.
Yeah, good play from Tottenham. It's a good ball into the box from Kudus, and there's a bit of a scramble in there. Falls to Archie Gray, I think it was, or that was Colin Mowane. Got that forced shot off. It's a good block from I couldn't see who it was there. There was plenty of bodies.
Might have been Bradley, but yeah, Colin Mowane it was with the shot in the end. So it's a throw-in. Bergvall is going to take this. Danzo's the long throw expert, but he's on the bench. So Bergvall, that's not bad for a long throw, but Konate got up, headed away, bounced out. Simons, that's poor touch from him, hence the groans from the home supporters. And in the end, it's bounced out of play for a throw-in to Liverpool 0-0.
Yeah, good little passage this for Tottenham. A good little start, and the last couple of minutes they put a little bit more pressure on Liverpool. Bit of attacking threat. We spoke before the game with Bergvall coming into the team. Would he step into a more central area? Maybe Simons off the left-hand side. That's not the case. Bergvall's playing off this left-hand side, and Simons in that number 10 position where he's played the last 4 or 5 games.
Just George, our producer, has just pointed out that there are a few boos for Jed Spence there as the ball is played forward. Bentancur pumps it downfield, but that bounces out of play for what is given as a goal kick. So a goal kick to Liverpool, and Alisson will come forward and place the ball in the 6-yard box. I couldn't read George's writing. I wondered why there were boos for Spence. He's actually written he's got odd boots, not the odd boo, odd boots.
Yeah, he's got one lime green boot and one bright pink boot. I'm not too sure I would have fancied that myself, John. I don't think it has suited me.
Your young players at Nottingham Forest did that.
They won't be allowed.
They wouldn't be allowed. Here's Simons through the middle. The ball bounces away from him, then passed forward by Gravenberch. Here's Szoboszlai on the right-hand side, that long hair tied back, and Liverpool go back into their own half. Yeah, eventful matches between these sides last season. It was actually this time last year that they played. Remember the 6-3 Ange Postecoglou and his Tottenham team, and in actual fact that was a very comfortable Liverpool win in the end. 6-3 flattered Tottenham as Liverpool have it in the centre circle, play it back to Gravenberch again. He's got Wirtz here to his right, now Bradley, then Wirtz back on the halfway line, forward of him Szoboszlai. The movement is already a factor here, the Liverpool players.
Yeah, really good rotations that we're seeing. Wirtz is popping up all over the place, Curtis Jones stepping on at times when needed, Ekitike dropping off into the 10 position, and McAllister. There's all them rotations in midfield. I think from a Tottenham perspective, when out possession, you just need to wait, let the rotations happen. Once the ball is played, then you can go and press. If you start following men all over the place and go man to man, big gaps can appear. So Tottenham need to be disciplined when Liverpool have good possession in their midfield areas.
Yeah, it is 0-0, Tottenham 0, Liverpool 0. 5 live from the BBC. Long pass from Konate downfield. Ekitike on the chase. Romero's there with him. They've both gone down, but Ekitike is back up on his feet, but then Romero's able to put in the challenge. Jed Spence in the odd boots has got to the ball and wins the throw-in off Conor Bradley. But Andy, I think this Liverpool movement that we're seeing here, it feels like it's a glimpse of how Arne Slot wants this Liverpool, whatever you call it, Mark II, under him to look like.
Yeah, he's been trying to find a formation, and funnily enough, it's very, very difficult to put your finger on exactly what type of formation they're playing because there are so many rotations in that. It's good players who are able to keep the ball, they're very comfortable in the ball, and they're able to rotate, they're able to find them pockets, and they know when to go, where to go to receive the ball.
Tottenham lose possession from a throw-in, but Romero's done well against Ekitike there. Bounced back into the Tottenham penalty area, and Romero, that's excellent defending, getting his body right side of Ekitike and just making sure that it made its way back to Vicario.
Well, that's his strength, Romero, isn't it? Reading the game and landing in them areas where he just knows the anticipation is always a key for the centre-back, especially when you're up against somebody like Ekitike, who's so sharp.
And the defender there, the captain as well, protecting his goalkeeper, who is under scrutiny, Andy, Guglielmo Vicario. I hope he couldn't see a television in the tunnel as Tottenham play it forward, but that will bounce all the way to the goalkeeper at the other end, Alisson. In the tunnel, as soon as Vicario stepped out of the dressing room, the TV cameras were right on him and stayed on him throughout the time until they walked out.
Yeah, well, he was questioned for a couple of the goals last week. The one where they were building out from the back, and should he have played it to Archie Gray onto the City ground? And then obviously the second goal, then Callum Hudson-Odoi crossed it from a wide area. He got wrong footed, he misjudged it, and the ball went in. So there is going to be pressure on them tonight, there's no doubt about that, and Liverpool will know that as well. They will want to start getting some shots off against them.
Yeah, and don't forget the Fulham home defeat as well, when he was booed by some of his own supporters. Ball's out of play. Thomas Frank afterwards said they're not real Tottenham fans. Szoboszlai takes the throw back into his own half to Konate, and Konate just drags it back and then passes it forward to Gravenberch again. You do get the feeling Liverpool have recovered from that extraordinary spell when they lost 9 out of 12 matches in September through until November. Lost 6 out of 7 in the Premier League, which currently now, if you look at the Premier League table, you will see Manchester City at the top of the table. Arsenal have been unseated after that win earlier in our 3 o'clock commentary match on 5 Live. Bradley for Liverpool, ball across the box, takes a double deflection, Romero cleared it. Kirkes is onto this, keeps it in, low cross but straight at Bentancur, and Bentancur is able to play it away. Then a strong challenge, too strong a challenge on McAllister. Ball bounced up, Kudus challenged him, both off the ground. Referee Brooks has brought it back for a Liverpool free kick, and Tottenham are not happy about that decision.
Yeah, he does barge into him. I think McAllister has got up early enough. He goes to try and win it. Kudus barges into him. I do think it's a free kick. And lucky enough for Liverpool that it is a free kick, because Tottenham were on the march there. Liverpool are starting to look really comfortable in this game. They're starting to dominate territory, dominate possession, starting to get the ball in the pockets, and Tottenham just on the back foot at this moment in time.
Yeah, Szoboszlai is going to take the free kick out from the left-hand side. It's the first time I've seen them since this diamond formation, but as Andy suggested, it is not immediately obvious that it is a diamond by any means. I think that's maybe just the base for it. Szoboszlai to whip this in, right-footed from the left flank. Tottenham holding their line, a couple of strides outside their own penalty area. Szoboszlai then in, looking for Van Dijk with a header, but it's straight at Vicario, who rather gratefully clutches the ball into his chest and then gives it out. And free kick given for challenge by Pedro Porro on Szoboszlai. He was trying to take the ball away from him, but the dispatch from Vicario,
it was just completely unnecessary. Your team's under a little bit of pressure. Van Dijk's just got a header there from probably about 8 yards out, doesn't get enough power on it. Vicario claims it, and instead of just calming everything down, just slow it down, get Liverpool back on the back foot, get your team in position, he throws it out early, puts Porro under a lot of pressure. Now Liverpool have another free kick in an identical area. They can go and attack.
But this one, with it being a little further forward, Tottenham are now defending their 6-yard box instead of the area. In it comes, hit low actually. McAllister tried to dummy it, but Porro is behind him, and now Porro will play it away for Kudus, and Kudus out there on the right-hand side as Tottenham play from right to left as we look, passes it infield. Bergvall allows it to run behind him to Bentancur. Now here's Jed Spence with a shimmy. Vert's got a touch on the ball, but Tottenham still in possession. Pedro Porro and Christian Romero. Romero actually just allows the ball to slow almost to a stop. So Tottenham kind of reset there after that attempted counter-attack. And Romero, with the ball at his feet, is giving signals to his teammate, almost like a manager, but with the captain and the ball, and here he is again in the same position. Liverpool have retreated right to the edge of their penalty area almost, so Romero shuffles forward with it, then receives it back, passes it up towards Kolo Muani through the middle, and now Kudus against Kirkes, overlap from Porro. Porro's cross is headed wide of the near post by Kolo Muani, who got himself in position at the near post. Defender was there with him, could only head it wide by maybe 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, it was good play from Tottenham. They kept the ball really well. And like you mentioned, Liverpool had retreated to the edge of their own box, almost went into a low block, and there was no pressure on the ball. Romero was able to step forward, good interlinking play. Kudus, who seems to be the one who will be the creative spark for Tottenham, he flicks it out wide, and good ball by Porro. Poor header by Moani, it has to be said, but a little bit more positivity for Tottenham there.
Yeah, and Christian Romero with the ball at his feet there. It's like Franz Beckenbauer, sort of running the game with the ball at his feet. Here he is again, receiving it. World Cup winner, just like McAllister on the opposite side of the field. And then Tottenham rather carelessly, Pedro Porro passing it straight out of play. Groans again from packed house here at Tottenham Stadium. The floodlights brightly on. The cockerel, the golden cockerel, brilliantly lit up there high above the south stand on its plinth that juts out above the penalty area. Vicario down below. The ball at the other end though with the bearded Alisson. Now long and forward from Konate, looking for the run of Ekitike, cleared away by Romero, but that's back to Szoboszlai. Kirkes couldn't get onto this. Porro got there first. Porro passes it forward. Kudus takes it down. It's 3 against 2 if Tottenham can take advantage, but they can't. Kudus goes back to Porro, and now Simons has got it on the right-hand side. Xavi Simons as Tottenham go back towards the halfway line again. Could have been away there.
Yeah, they could have been. I think Tottenham will really look at the transitional aspect of this game. When Liverpool turn the ball over, there is space. Kirkes plays really, really high up the pitch and leaves space behind them.
Yeah, and here's Bentancur almost running into that space. Kudus now. Van Dijk is out there. Kudus going from left foot now to right foot. His cross. Colomwani heads it back to the edge of the area, but it came at Bentancur at an awful height for him. He was in two minds there. He went for the volley. It was the wrong decision.
He was in the wrong mind with that, that's for sure.
He was. So here's Spence on the left-hand side. Back it goes to Van de Ven. Now Bentancur, who rather pleasingly is wearing a pair of plain black boots. None of your Jed Spence there, Andy. Bentancur.
Yeah, he's a nice football. It's a good little period this for Tottenham. They're keeping the ball. Liverpool aren't really putting too much pressure on the ball. It's a bit easy for Tottenham, and they're getting good territory as well.
Bentancur again. Simons just pulls it back as Ekitike closed him down. Now gets it back again. Xavi Simons, and then curls a low pass. Nice pace out to Kudus up against Kirkes. Then back to Simons, 25 yards out, back to the corner of the penalty area for Tottenham, but Kudus' touch was a little heavy out of play. Just 1 or 2 passes going astray for Tottenham, throwing to Liverpool.
Yeah, there is. I'm actually surprised to see Liverpool not getting more pressure on the ball. They keep retreating to the edge of their own box, and it's quite comfortable for Tottenham. I know there's 2 ways you can look at it. If Tottenham overcommit and they feel really comfortable and the ball does turn over, as it could have done there with Kudus, there's a lot of space for them to break into, but I would have expected them, knowing where Tottenham have been over the last few weeks, can they really get after that ball and press Tottenham high up the pitch, but they're not doing that at the moment.
No, they're not. 5 Live from the BBC. Tottenham 0, Liverpool 0. Spurs going all the way back to Vicario. So yes, Liverpool won 6-3 here last season in their last match before Christmas. But it was the 5-1 win they had at Anfield in April when Arne Slot's team were confirmed as champions with 4 matches to play, and then didn't win any of those 4 matches before the trophy was eventually presented. But Liverpool have very much had the better of things against Tottenham in recent times. Bergvall now though through the middle for Spence. Spence on the chase, well defended by Bradley, and actually wins a free kick. Bradley, as Spence was trying to get it back for him, Bradley went down rather easily, but the referee saw that as manhandling, a foul by Spence, who was furious with the decision. When the ball bounced up, he wanted to throw it down onto the turf, and it is a free kick to Liverpool.
Yeah, I don't think it's a free kick. I think Bradley's got himself into a bit of an awkward position. He tries to back into Jed Spence, who kind of just leans on him a tiny bit, but I don't think there's enough in it for a free kick. And I actually think that Conor Bradley's got quite lucky there. I would have rather him defend that ball, get to the ball and clear it, rather than try and be clever and win the free kick, because he's got away with one there.
It's risky. Yep. but he got the free kick. John Brooks, who was the referee of the League Cup final last season when Liverpool lost out to Newcastle, throwing to Liverpool level with the edge of their own penalty area. Yes, earlier the 2-2 draw between Newcastle and Chelsea. Bournemouth 1, Burnley 1 at 3 o'clock. Brighton 0, Sunderland 0, Wolves 0, Brentford 2. So Wolves still sitting on just the 2 points, and as I mentioned, Manchester City winners with 2 goals from Erling Haaland, 3-0 against West Ham, so are top of the table. More on all of that. We'll hear more interviews at half-time as well. Coventry, even though they drew 1-1 at Southampton, rather stormy end to that match, they have actually stretched their lead to 6 points because Middlesbrough lost at Bristol City. So Ipswich are now third as well after their 3-1 win against Sheffield Wednesday, and a couple of other eye-catching scorelines in the Championship. QPR winning 4-1 against Leicester, and Sheffield United continuing their rise 3-0 against Birmingham. But we'll round up all of the earlier events at half-time on 5 Live with Mark Chapman, and then later during 6:06 we'll update you on Everton against Arsenal as Arsenal look to go back to the top again, and Leeds against Crystal Palace. Choice of listening right now, the Harlequins Bristol match in the Prem is on Sports Extra on your digital radio or via the BBC Sounds app. Tottenham 0, Liverpool 0, ball in the central third of the field, and Liverpool with Gravenberch just touches it to Curtis Jones, who drops deeper into his own half. So now we do have Szoboszlai in the centre circle, Gravenberch further forward towards the right, McAllister through the middle, and Wirtz out to the left.
Yeah, well, you've got Conor Bradley playing really high on this right hand side, Kerker's playing really high on that left hand side.
Ooh, that's a nice pass from Jones. Looking for the run of Gravenberch, but Mickey van der Ven read that, put it out for a throw.
Yeah, it's quite clever. Liverpool building with a 3 there. Curtis Jones has dropped almost into a back 3 there for that period with Konate and with Virgil van Dijk, and then the runners then further ahead have freed up Gravenberch to make that run into the space, and Conor Bradley had dropped off looking for the ball, and there was space in behind Jed Spence.
When it works, this, from Liverpool, it's got the potential to ask a lot of questions of teams.
Yeah, it definitely has, because there's so many rotations, so many people in pockets running into space.
Here's Bradley now after the second Liverpool throw, and he's played it into Spence, and it's bouncing around in the south stand off Spence. It's corner to Liverpool, first of the match from the right hand side, way down to our right. Bradley leaves it to McAllister to take this. Bradley runs all the way over to the back post to stand next to Ekitike. Konate is there as well. Kirkes has just walked into the 6-yard box as well. Van Dijk and Jones near the penalty spot. McAllister then with the corner. Oh, Wirtz got himself into a position but couldn't head it on target. Just got a little glance on it really from 12-13 yards out. There's a packed penalty area in front of him as Tottenham look to bring it away. Bergvall in possession. Simons has gone down, then a pass is overhit from the back from Romero that will dribble all the way out of play for a goal kick to Liverpool, and it's still 0-0, Andy. Yeah,
Tottenham have had 3, maybe 4 of them transition moments where they've looked to break, and a poor touch or a poor pass has just slowed it up. It's given Liverpool the opportunity to get back in, and when it does slow up, you can hear the groans from the crowd. They want their team to break forward quickly with pace and really expose them Liverpool players when they're out of possession.
Liverpool just playing slightly dangerously at the back, but they're under control again now, and it's Van Dijk who will just pass it forward to Jones through the middle. Wirtz with a touch. McAllister back to Wirtz. That's nice. All through the middle this. Szoboszlai then plays it out to the rampaging Bradley on the right hand side. Back it comes to Szoboszlai, and then into the path of Jones. Jones' touch was a little heavy there, and Bentancur is able to come in and get a touch on the ball and knock it out for a throw-in down the right hand side. By the way, for Wirtz, I'm going to count that as an attempt on goal from him, so that is 19 attempts and 25 chances created by Wirtz in the Premier League as a Liverpool player without either scoring or creating one. But if you keep doing that, you're going to start scoring and creating sooner or later.
Yeah, it was a really well-worked corner. It was one off the training ground. I was just looking at the angle of the run-up from McAllister, and he took a really straight run-up, which made me think that he was going to get a lot of whip on the ball and really come around, and that's what he did. And Wirtz has come in late and not maybe renowned for his aerial ability. He got good contact on it, but just couldn't direct it.
So goal kick to Tottenham. Still 0-0. Arne Slot just coming out to the edge of his coaching area. Thomas Frank down there as well. Just 25 matches into his time, and Tottenham take this goal kick short, and in the end Vicario, the goalkeeper, hits it straight out of play, and you can already sense the frustration there from the supporters.
It kicks it straight out of play and turns around and starts screaming at Mickey van de Ven. I mean, you know, at some point you've got to take responsibility for your own technique.
Liverpool back in possession again. Ball to the halfway line. I remember, you know, the frustration, the anger this time last year, and that was during that spell when Tottenham were having some crazy matches. Remember the League Cup tie against Manchester United, the league match against Chelsea. That was all round about this time of year, and eventually, of course, many Tottenham fans didn't want that, but many Tottenham fans don't seem to want this either. But let's see what happens here. Still 0-0, but Jones overhits that pass all the way downfield to Vicario.
I think my opinion on that is I don't think Thomas Frank is an impact manager. I think he's somebody that needs to be given time to implement he's a real process-driven manager. He likes to work on principles, and sometimes them principles take a little bit longer than others. So I think if you're going to hire somebody like Thomas Frank, you have to give him a bit more time to implement his work. Yeah,
that's what he was saying, wasn't it, last weekend? It's not a quick fix, Tottenham. Nice from Spence, flicking it forward to Gray, still inside his own half. Gray I think he was caught from behind, but still got the pass over there to Kudus to Simons, then a touch back to Kudus, who's going to try this from distance. It actually hits Konate on the edge of the box, spins to the left to Spence, who's joined the attack now. Two Liverpool players with him, Bradley and Szoboszlai. Comes back to Gray, and then infield. Simons might find a position here, but actually plays it out to the right hand side to Porro, kills that, stone dead with his right foot, then crosses it into the legs of Kirkes, and then the cross when it comes back to him, headed across by Spence, headed down by Kolo Muani, but straight at Alisson. He was 7 yards out. I think he'd just been buffeted, hadn't he? Couldn't get any power straight at the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I still think he's got to do better though. I really think he's got to do better. He's got more power on that. He probably could have even taken it down and got a shot off, but this is a good spell for Tottenham.
It is, and it is with Kolo Muani, and back centrally to Simons, still goalless here on this dry December evening in North London. Van de Ven, and to the left hand side again it's Jed Spence. Bergvall points that he wants it played, but Spence continues, curls it in straight into Konate on the edge of the box, and then Ekitike against Bentancur. I'm not sure how much contact there was, but it was enough to take down Ekitike, and it was a free kick.
It's been interesting at the first half an hour or so of this game, because both teams I think have been pretty good in possession without really creating that clear-cut opportunity, but they've had spells where they've kept it, they've got into the pockets, they've played some good stuff, but I actually think they've both been reasonably poor out of possession. I don't think anybody has really got after the ball, really pressed with an intensity and made it difficult to play. You see this, Tottenham have just dropped into a mid-block here, and Liverpool are really comfortable in possession. They're not really getting after it, and Tottenham have been the same for the last 2-3 minutes when they've been in possession, so there's nobody really grabbing hold of it out of possession.
No. Liverpool with the ball again, central third, Gravenberch. So Thomas Frank, despite that performance, making just the one change. I, like you, Andy, thought he might have changed a few things, but Richarlison on the bench, Bergvall coming in, and it is Bergvall, fair-haired, who tries to get to Szoboszlai, but he turns and plays it back to the halfway line, and Van Dijk, right foot out to Kirkes, comes back to Jones, and now Gravenberch again, but Bergvall closes him down. So Konate takes possession. There is a run through the middle from McAllister, but Konate decides not to play the pass. Then forward again, but Porro gets there first, and Tottenham now, but Simons has overhit that. It's out of play for a throw to Liverpool.
Yeah, really poor from Simons there. Again, it's another one of them transition moments. Tottenham have got in there, they've won the ball back. It's come to Simons, he's just passed out play. A really good opportunity to break and to get up the play. And again, you can hear the groans from the Tottenham fans.
So Liverpool once again start to build in the central third of the field. Just watching them again, this time it's McAllister furthest forward through the middle, but Jones in an advanced position, and now Simons has has put a challenge in on Van Dijk, who did not like that, as he was looking to play it back to Alisson and has stared down the Liverpool captain, and the yellow card's out for Simons.
I might be wrong on this, but I actually think that Simons has slipped. I think he's gone to try and put a bit of pressure on him, and they've just kind of clashed feet, or he slipped a little bit and caught Van Dijk. I'm not too sure that he's actually meant to catch him there. Oh, I don't know, I might be wrong on that. He looks like he stood at him down the back of his Achilles.
Yes, he did. Yeah. Oh, no, that's not great.
No, it's not great at all.
Well, they'll have a look at that. I suspect, Andy, they will stick with the yellow card, but that is not a good challenge.
No, the studs down the back of Van Dijk's Achilles, and they can be really sore ones. I think it'll fall just below a sending off, but it'll definitely be looked at.
It's on the big, well, it is on every single corner, the massive screens here, possible red card. This is one where it's Stuart Atwell who is the video assistant referee. They might call him over to have a look at this.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I actually don't think he's meant to go in and do him. I think he's overstretched a little bit. Yeah. But the really sore ones, and when Van Dijk went down and he looked in a bit of pain.
Yeah, so intent will be a part of it. And, the force of the challenge as well. And still we wait here.
It worry you from a Tottenham perspective that it takes so long.
Oh yeah, they're going to have a look. So John Brooks here is going to be given the chance to have a look at this. And I know we say almost every time the referee is sent over there that this is going to mean a red card.
I think it's a really tricky. What you need to determine for me is the intent, but it doesn't look great, Joe. I've got to be honest with you. It doesn't look great. He has right down the back of his Achilles, kind of from the bottom of his calf down his Achilles. It's a sore one. There's no doubt about it. What's the referee going to decide here?
You see, they're showing it to him. I think these are the same pictures. So we're seeing this in slow motion. I think it is one really you need to see at normal speed. They've shown him it several times over. The discussion goes on. Here he comes. Here comes the referee. He's sending the Tottenham players away. So we're going to try and get this announcement to the stadium. There is the rectangle. It looks as though Tottenham are going to be reduced to 10 men.
After review, the Tottenham number 7 with studs catches the Liverpool player on the calf high. It's an act of serious foul play. My final decision is red card.
32 minutes on the clock. Simons is sent off.
I'm not sure what. It's a difficult one. I think by the letter of the law, it's a dangerous enough one. It's straight them down the back of his calf with the studs, as he's just explained there. It's a silly one from Simons. I think it's completely unnecessary. Van Dijk was turning out to go back, and
they've actually shown it on the big screens. They've shown the challenge, and you can hear the anger from the Tottenham supporters who have made it very clear they disagree. And Thomas Frank was remonstrating as well. I noticed with Anthony Taylor, aren't too many more experienced officials than him. I see as well that Justin Cochran as well is in discussions. But Simons now has crossed the white line, is heading down the tunnel, and Tottenham are down to 10 men, and the score remains 0-0. But that kind of decision, that kind of incident, clearly they are game changers. This is a fixture as the referee brings it back for a foul on Kirkes, just forward of the centre circle. Jones was also caught by a challenge in there. It's a free kick to Liverpool, but this is a fixture that has had more than its fair share of red cards in recent times.
Yeah, it has. I'm a little bit conflicted there. I would like in the game to stay 11v11. Kind of see where the referee is coming from with it. It's one of them that if you're a Tottenham fan, you're saying he shouldn't be sent off. If you're them Liverpool fans over in that far corner there, they'll be adamant that he should have been sent off.
Free kick. Kirkes is okay. So is Jones. So Liverpool with the man advantage. Ball crossed in, cleared away by Gray. Archie Gray on the edge of his own box, and then a foul by Gravenberch on Colomwani, and ironic cheers and applause from the Tottenham supporters. But for Thomas Frank, in a match like this, Obviously that was the last thing that he needed. Down to 10 men. And it is so often the case, isn't it, when you need a break, when you need a bit of luck, that things tend to go the other way.
Yeah, they do. I'll be interested to see what they do now. How kind of defensive did they end up going? You can just see a shape there of almost like a back three with Jed Spence and Van de Ven and Romero. Are they going to be aggressive? Are they going to get men in and around Colomwani, or will they go back and be really defensive?
Gravenberg went down. That's not given us a free kick. Kudus then. Kudus for Tottenham. Tried to work it across, but Liverpool had two men there, both Kirkes and Van Dijk. Bounces back though to Kudus, but then Liverpool are able to take possession back with Wirtz. Jones shielding it. Bentancur's in with a challenge to put it out of play. Well, this situation now for Tottenham is calling for character. Down to 10 men against the champions here, and we are seeing that. Bentancur there putting pressure on Liverpool, but as Andy Reid says, Liverpool now will try and use the extra space that in theory they should have. McAllister gives it out to Jones. Now here is Gravenberg. Konate comes forward, and now Bradley, and then back it goes to Konate near the centre circle. Tottenham have got everyone back behind the ball. Szoboszlai. Liverpool attacking towards the immense south stand. Boos of frustration from the home supporters with Liverpool in possession. Xavi Simons sent off in the 33rd minute. Oh, nice turn by Wirtz, and the shot is well saved by Vicario. Down to his left, diving, managed to push it away across the penalty area. Importantly, good save, Vicario.
Yeah, it was a good save. It was good play from Liverpool. The dominating possession and territory, as you would expect now. And Wirtz has made a run into the inside channel of the box on that left-hand side. He turns sweetly, actually, and he tries to curl it in towards that far corner. And good effort.
Ominous though for Tottenham. As Wirtz does well, gets into the penalty area, it rattles around, and then the final touch was off Ekitike behind. So it is a goal kick, and Vicario just comes across and puts his arms around Romero. And I thought ominous for Tottenham that with the man advantage, suddenly Liverpool are able to create that chance.
Yeah, I think Tottenham are going to have to just regroup. They're going to have to just calm down, try and take the emotion out of that decision. They need to manage the game really, really well here and take the time with set pieces, as Vicario is doing here. Colomwani is going to become really important for this Tottenham team. He's going to have to try and secure that ball when he can and give them Tottenham players an opportunity to get up and get close to him.
Tottenham 0, Liverpool 0. And of course part of the frustration is that really that challenge from Simons wasn't necessary. Van Dijk had the ball 10 yards inside his own half. He was turning to pass it back to Alisson, which he did. As it comes over the top, Colomani, Alisson comes out as well. Brave goalkeeping, on his feet as well, is able to get there before Kudus outside of the penalty area. Well played, Alisson. And Liverpool look to come forward quickly. Wirtz, then back to Gravenberg. Thought Colomani might have been in there, but Alisson was just quick enough. Yeah,
just quick enough. He kind of half got away with that there, and the second bite of the cherry, he managed to clear it. He was on the front foot, and he done well in the end. But Colomani with them long legs, he might just get there in front of Alisson and nick it.
Liverpool, Van Dijk out to Wirtz, and then Curtis Jones as well. He's having a little bit of a run in the team, Curtis Jones, in this formation. This is 4 matches in a row that Jones has started. Now Gravenberg again as Tottenham retreat further towards the edge of their own box. Jones now on the edge of the area. Back to Gravenberg, he finds the space. Kirkes' ball across, takes a deflection off Romero, fortunately for Tottenham, into the path of his own teammate. Spence bounces back into the penalty area and then whacked away by Romero into the centre circle. This is going to be tough for Tottenham as an offside flag goes up against Ekitike. Free kick to Spurs.
They're going to have to weather the storm. You know, you're looking at the clock, just about to turn on to 39 minutes on the clock. Thomas Frank will be trying to say, get through to half-time, we can reorganise, we can shuffle, we can get some instruction on, but you need to get through to half-time. If you look at every Tottenham player for the last probably 3 or 4 minutes have been 30 yards from their own goal, plenty of bodies in and around that box, just making it difficult for Liverpool to pick their way through.
And I think currently probably Thomas Frank, if he's able to get this to half-time at 0-0, he'll take that. and they can take a breather. Tottenham 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time is just over 5 minutes plus out of time away. Handball on a challenge on the edge of the penalty area. That's given us a Liverpool free kick. More rage. Jones plays it out to Kirkes at half-time on 5 Live. We're going to hear from the now top of the table, Pep Guardiola. We will hear from Nuno Santo Spirito as well after their 3-0 defeat at Manchester City. Rob Edwards is going to be on as well, and Scott Parker too, after Burnley's 1-1 draw at Bournemouth. Here's Wirtz. Wirtz now to Kirkes. Kirkes, well challenged by the recovering Kudus, who just got to it as Kirkes was looking to pull it across, deflected behind for a corner from the left.
Yeah, that's the one thing that you say to Kirkes. He gets in a really good position there. It's a really good ball in behind, a good run. Just can he pick out that final pass? There's plenty of Tottenham bodies in there, but I still think the top level, you need to be picking somebody out there. Tottenham
need to hang on to half-time. They're under some pressure now. Corner from over there on the far side. This time the Liverpool left's a Szoboszlai in swinger. Liverpool have got 5 men inside the Tottenham 6-yard box, 2 more near the penalty spot. Szoboszlai with the corner. Vicario comes, just gets his fingertips to it to claw it away, and he's managed to claw it away to Kudus. There are runners. Colomwano, he's actually hit the long pass for Porro, and Porro does catch onto it inside the full-back position, drives it across. Oh, it's all the way through the arriving Spence. Couldn't get any contact on it. It was absolutely blasted across, and it was through him and out for a throw-in before he knew it.
Yeah, Porro's gone for pace on that cross there, but what a brilliant 50-yard ball by Kudus. Brilliant, strikes it just over Conor Bradley's head, and Porro runs onto it, smashes that ball across, and Jed Spence can't adjust his feet and just gets this Tottenham crowd to the edge of their seats.
Still 0-0 here. It's also still 0-0 between Harlequins and Bristol in the Sports Extra commentary match. Ospreys 3, Munster 5 is the latest in the 5:30 kick-off in the United Rugby Championship. As Jones for Liverpool, Bradley now back to Jones, who allowed it to run, but it was blocked by Van de Ven behind him. Bradley though has won it from Bergval, then gives it to Jones to his right, ball acrosses, hitting Romero and bouncing wide and behind. And again Tottenham unhappy about something. Christian Romero, they've taken a quick corner in from Szoboszlai, stretch leg from Gray, still hasn't cleared the penalty area. Wirtz back outside the box to Kirkes, now Wirtz again back to Kirkes, and this is all around the corner, the left corner of the box. Wirtz, who has Porro next to him, so back it goes for the ball into the penalty area that isn't cleared by Romero, but then is by Bentancur, and now Bergval to Kudus, but Liverpool in with the challenge again, but then Romero plays it downfield. Bergval on the chase, he's all on his own, went for the early cross with 2 Tottenham players arriving, but it was cut out by Bradley, and Liverpool are now back in position. Kudus though still with the ball for Tottenham with 2.5 minutes of the first 45 to play. Still 0-0. Spurs down to 10 men after Simons sending off just beyond the half hour, and now Spence will play it out to the right to Kudus, who is in an offside position. It remains 0-0, and let's see how things are going at Twickenham with Adam Whitty.
Bristol strike first, Quins 0, Bristol 5, Calavetti Revovo showing power and pace to sit a defender down and dive in the left corner. Conversion missed, Harlequins 0, Bristol 5, 12 minutes gone.
So a free kick to Liverpool after Kudus strayed offside a little carelessly.
Yeah, they're the frustrating ones for a manager. He's looking right across the line, he can see that he's going to be offside, and he still strays into that offside spot. But that was a good break from Tottenham with Bergval on that right hand side. He tried to squeeze it across to Colomwani quickly, but he just couldn't get a pass. I think it was Van Dijk got back in there.
That's Andy Reid with us on 5 Live. In the 5:30 kickoffs in the National League, Tamworth winning 1-0 against Southend, and York City 2-0 up on Truro. I say Robbie Savage's Forest Green are playing tonight against Yeovil, a southwest affair, so obviously he's not on 606 tonight. That'll be Aaron Paul with Chris Sutton. Here's Szoboszlai, and then Wirtz, And Bradley just got away from him, but Spence did well, was in quickly, and the England international takes it away down the left wing. Still going, Bradley trying to go with him. Still Spence into the box, played it past Bradley, goes down, howls for a penalty from the home supporters. But really, that was an easy one for John Brooks to say no, and Liverpool bring it away.
Yeah, well, the Tottenham fans are booing, and the players are probably going to complain a bit, but in all honesty, I think Jed Spence had overrun the ball, played it too far. He was never going to get on the end of it.
And to add to Tottenham frustrations, Liverpool's Conor Bradley has stayed down after Spence ran into him, and Liverpool, I think they have put the ball out. In any case, the referee stopped play, and he's going to see how Conor Bradley is. He's got a knee in the thigh, maybe?
I think he'll be alright. He'll be okay. It was a good break from Jed Spence there. He'd done really well on this left-hand side, used his pace. We know he's lightning quick, and when he opens up them legs, and he must have carried the ball 60, 70, maybe even 80 yards and into the box, and he just overran it then at the end. But there are moments that if Tottenham are going to get anything out of this game, they're going to have to try and have some of them transition moments if they want to try and get a goal when it does open up, and Liverpool overcommit. With some of the pace that they've got on this team, can they hurt them on them transitions?
First 45 minutes are up, Conor Bradley still receiving treatment. What have you thought of the Tottenham performance, your old club, Andy? You have to put it in the context of the sending off of Simons as well.
Yeah, I thought they were well in the game, 0-0. I thought it was even, it kind of ebbed and flowed. We still haven't had loads of real chances, a real kind of goal-mouth action. A couple of saves from Vicario, but other than that, Colomboani had a little bit of a chance. But Tottenham have done okay. Since the sending off, they've dropped back into that low block as we would expect, and it's going to be a long kind of second half of them, playing with 10 men. They're going to have to be organised, they're going to have to be structured, and they're going to have to be together. People show a little bit of character, organisation. It's definitely what they're going to need.
Yep. Penny for the thoughts of Thomas Frank down there with his arms folded, pacing around in the 6-yard box while Bradley receives treatment. We're saying goodbye to a Frank of our own this weekend, by the way. Our colleague, one of our favourite BBC Sport colleagues, Frank Keogh, is saying goodbye to the BBC this weekend after 25 years. So, Honest Frank, as they call him, we will wish him the very best. Thomas Frank has plenty of problems here to deal with. The 10 men against this Liverpool team that does seem to be finding a way. Bradley has got back to his feet, and he's now just walked off the field, so play will get back underway with 3 minutes of time added on at the end of the first half, and it will resume with a drop ball.
I think Simons has some questions to answer there at half-time. Some people may say, it was harsh and wasn't that bad, but he's right down the back of Virgil van Dijk there, and you're always given the referee a decision to make. The Tottenham fans can boo and they cannot be happy, but I think it's silly from him, and it's probably sums up his Tottenham career so far. It just hasn't been able to get going. He's had a couple of good moments, but decisions like that, questions have to be asked of the temperament.
Yeah, and serious foul play, that'll be a 3-match ban, won't it? So he'll miss Palace away, which is a 5 live commentary match next Sunday. The game at Brentford, and then Sunderland at home. Liverpool, here is Bradley. Seems okay, they'll certainly have a look at him at half-time. Flick on the edge of the penalty area from Ekitike, but Gray is able to carry the ball away out towards the left-hand side. He's actually hit it downfield. It bounced off Bradley, back towards the edge of his own box. Spence then plays it back to Vicario, who slices that. You can see the ball wobbling with spin in the air. Not really cleared any distance. Comes back to the edge of the Tottenham penalty area. Spence hasn't cleared it. Spurs need to get this away, which they do eventually through Gray. We've had the 3 minutes of added time now. I think John Brooks is just preparing to put the whistle to his mouth. Actually, no, Liverpool take the throw. I think this will be the last attack of the first half, the most significant event of which has been the sending off of Tottenham's Xavi Simons. When you and I saw it again, we did both say it didn't look great, and when VAR had a look, they decided it was bad enough to for the yellow to become a red card. Ball passed forward for Liverpool to the edge of the area, but Gray cuts that out. It's hit downfield, and again it seemed John Brooks was going to blow the whistle, but he still hasn't. I suppose Bradley did have that lengthy treatment in added time. So Wirtz now chasing down the left, wins a throw in there. Kirkes has come across. Still we play on. That had an element of foul throw about it from Kirkes. Then to McAllister on the edge of the box. His shot is hit and deflected away and bounces behind, and that is a corner. Now in the 5th minute of added time, it's a Liverpool corner. If they score from this, there'll be uproar. Bradley is going to leave it for Szoboszlai. Tottenham fans behind the goal, possibly thousands of them, are pointing to the imaginary wristwatches. Not sure how many people wear them anymore. Szoboszlai is going to take the corner for Liverpool. Just takes a flick of Ekitike. Then the shot from Wirtz hits Bentancur. He takes it out into the full-back position. Still they're playing. Bentancur clearing to Bergvall. Bergvall winning a free kick. And that really should be half-time with the score 0-0. Yes, it is. Well, you can hear the reaction, and slightly unusually, the Tottenham fans, even those who haven't been on social media, which is probably not very many of them, they have had the chance to see it on the big screens, and so that's why you heard the boos, and that's why John Brooks will be booed off here for that decision, the VAR decision, in conjunction with the referee to send off Xavi Simons. But 0-0, Andy Reid at half-time.
Yeah, it's been a good game actually. The tempo's been good. It's probably been good in between both boxes. There's been some good play, good rotations, people getting in pockets. My only disappointment with the game so far is there haven't been enough clear-cut chances. There hasn't been that real guile or creativity in and around the box, and there haven't been enough shots on goal. There haven't been probably committing enough bodies to get into the box, and I think that's what Liverpool in particular will be disappointed about. They've had probably 15 minutes playing against 10 men. They've picked a little bit and tried to get in around the box, but haven't been able to create that clear-cut opportunity just as yet. But it's going to be a long second half for Tottenham, there's no doubt about that.
Yes, as I suspected, John Brooks booed off, as you probably heard there. Not my bravest prediction. That was almost certain to happen, but yeah, Wirtz with a shot that was saved, Kolomwani with chances at the other end, but Tottenham down to 10 men and have got a job on against Liverpool. It's 0-0 at half-time.
Game of the day in the Premier League came at lunchtime. Chelsea coming from 2 down at half-time to get a point at Newcastle, although the home side will feel they ought to have had a penalty for a challenge on Anthony Gordon. Then at 3 o'clock, Bournemouth 1, Burnley 0, Brighton 0, Sunderland 3. Manchester City went top of the table with a 3-0 win over West Ham. Wolves stay rooted to the bottom with just 2 points after a 2-0 home defeat to Brentford. All the goals on the iPlayer from 8 o'clock. Extended highlights and all the analysis with Shay Given and Joe Hart alongside Kelly. Match of the day 10:20 on BBC One. You'll want to react to all of those with 6:06, which is on the way at the end of Spurs Liverpool, and there are 2 8 o'clock games tonight that you'll be able to follow during 6:06: Everton Arsenal and Leeds Palace. In the Championship, leaders Coventry held 1-1 at Southampton. They played most of the second half with 10, did Frank Lampard's side. Second place Middlesbrough beaten 2-0 at Bristol City. Norwich were minutes from a win at Preston, but the home side at Deepdale got a late second half injury time equaliser. In League One, Lincoln went into second after beating the leaders Cardiff 2-1. Bradford dropped to third after they were beaten at Leyton Orient. Perhaps performance of the day came from Plymouth, who were 1-0 down at Doncaster, but came back to win 5-1. In League Two, the top two at the start of the day finished goalless. That's Notts County and Walsall. So Swindon have gone level on points with Walsall at the top of the table after a 1-0 win over Crawley. Bromley go into third after beating Grimsby 2-0. The bottom two, Newport and Harrogate, both lost, and they both conceded 4 in the process. In the Scottish Premiership, Motherwell have gone into third after a 1-0 win over Dundee. 2 games in the National League going on at the moment. Tamworth 1, Southend 0, and York City 3, Truro 0. They have both reached half-time. Let's go to the Rugby Union. This is Quins Bristol. Adam Whitty.
22 minutes gone. Harlequins 0, Bristol 5. As expected, open, free-flowing fare from both of these two sides. Bristol just winning a penalty on their own try line, seeing off a Quins attack. Calavetti-Revovo with the only try of the game. A brutal carry, setting down a Quins defender to dive over in the left corner. Marcus Smith, the England 10, and the Harlequins fly half looks well up for this, but he's not quite getting the support of his teammates at the moment in a Harlequins shirt. Quins 0, Bristol 5, 22 minutes gone.
Elsewhere in the Gallagher Prem, Northampton 47, Sale 21 and Saracens 24, Exeter 30. In the Rugby Championship, there were wins for Stormers, Benetton and Sharks. Glasgow beat Edinburgh by 24 points to 12, and they are at half-time in the game between Ospreys and Munster lead by 19 points to 3. In the Women's Premiership, just the one game today, finished Harlequins 38, Bristol 12. Australia need 4 wickets to retain the Ashes. Commentary of day 5 of the third test gets underway at 11 o'clock on Sports Extra. And Impostoir was the winner of the feature race, the long walk hurdle at Ascot. Reaction to the day's Premier League football to come after Alison Hughes with the news.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Victims of the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein are asking the United States government to release all the files held on him. Some have criticised the cache of heavily redacted files published last night. The US Department of Justice says it's necessary to protect victims and ongoing investigations. At least 5 members of the Islamic State group are believed to have been killed in a series of US airstrikes on about 70 targets in Syria. The White House says they were in retaliation for the deaths of 3 Americans last week and had the support of the Syrian government. President Zelensky says the US has proposed fresh face-to-face talks between officials from Ukraine and Russia. He says he'd support the discussions if they led to more prisoner swaps or a meeting between him and Vladimir Putin. And Police Scotland has seized almost £14 million worth of drugs in the past 10 days. 15 people have been arrested and charged following a series of raids.
Christmas bonuses are in.
They've given me an £8,000 bonus. Whoa.
On BBC iPlayer.
We should go to Lapland. I feel like a dad in one of those Christmas adverts.
I love this holiday! Starring Guz Khan.
Listen to this. Due to a systems error, your annual bonus was incorrect.
I would not want to be you right now.
I don't want to be me right now.
Stuffed.
Have you been naughty or nice this year?
What kind of question is that at the dinner table?
Watch on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sports with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Let's bring you some reaction to the day's Premier League football then. Manchester City top of the table after a 3-0 win over West Ham. Here's Pep Guardiola.
It was a great performance defensively. With the ball, it was not good. We were not in the right spots. We didn't attack in the right way. So that maybe for the lately we play in different shapes and sometimes it's difficult, but don't misunderstand me. I'm so happy. The guys are unbelievable. The heart, the ethic, the how they run. But with the ball, we had to do better. We are in a good place, I'm saying, but I'll be honest, I could say, everything is perfect. No, we had to do better. They defend in one different way. That, for example, they defend different than Crystal Palace. So the spaces to attack are different. Spots are different. You have to occupy it, you have to do better. And today we didn't do that. That's why make me sad. No, I'm so happy. I go home, I'm ready. But the margin made me realize the margin to improve is still massive. If you want at the end, March, April, fighting with the big clubs in Europe, with the big teams in the Premier League, to win the titles. Otherwise, it will not be enough.
Arsenal go back to the top if they beat Everton this evening. West Ham stay in the bottom 3. They're 3 points adrift of safety. If Leeds beat Crystal Palace at 8 o'clock, that will increase to 5 points. Here's Nuno Espirito Santo.
The way we started was no good. We could see it very early. It becomes really hard. The first moments of the game was not good. That's what I didn't like. I liked the beginning of the second half, the way we went and the way we create problems to City. Yeah, there are not many things that I like, a lot of things that I didn't like.
And in terms of your players, they've given you so much since you've come into the club. Are they ready? Because, I mean, this is a really tough time of the season, isn't it? It's going to take a lot of toll on their bodies and also on their minds.
Yeah. Especially with the upsets that we had due to AFCON, becomes harder. We have to find solutions inside of the squad, and believe that our players are going to be ready to step on and help us.
Keane Lewis-Potter got both of Brentford's goals in a 2-0 win at Molineux. Wolves now have a club record 10 successive top-flight defeats. Here's their captain, Matt Doherty.
We're going to need something. We're going to need some fresh energy. Don't know exactly. I mean, I'm not saying what positions we need, but we need something. And I'm sure the club will be looking. I'm sure they'll be behind the scenes. I'm sure they'll be helping. We're going to need everyone from who's here now also to find the level of where we were last season, because a lot of us are still here from last season. And last season we got ourselves to a good level of performance to stay in the league, because we were in a tough spot about this time last year as well. So obviously this is a lot worse. We need to do some soul searching and have a look in the mirror and just figure out what we want to be remembered for at the club. Do we want to be remembered for fighting all the way to the end of the season, or do we want to be remembered for being cowards and taking maybe the easy option out and maybe trying to leave in January, and letting other people take your position and stuff like that? So we need to look at ourselves in the mirror and figure out how we want to be remembered at the club.
Let's hear from João Pedro next, who got Chelsea's second as they came from 2 down to get a point at Newcastle.
We knew it would be a tough game. We could see in the beginning, but the second half, I think we played better than them. We scored twice. I think we could score more goals, but in the end, tough place to play. You get a point, and now we need to move forward.
What was the message at half-time at 2-0 down? Because this is a very difficult place to turn it around the way you did today.
And the gaffer said to us, we know what we need to do on the pitch, and that's what he showed today. I think we didn't start well the first half. We conceded 2 goals very quickly, and then to build up our game in here is very difficult, because they play with the fans. We know it's a tough atmosphere here, but in the second half we start better. Like I said, we score, and in the end we get the point.
And your goal eventually has got the point. I mean, it wasn't a conventional one, was it, from Robert Sanchez?
Yeah, I told him in the halftime to play this kind of ball on me, because I know I could do something different, because I'm always in the 1v1, and then happened I could control the ball in front and I scored a brilliant goal.
Alexander Isak currently going through quite a vigorous warm-up at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, so maybe he will come on at half-time for Liverpool, who are being held at 10-man Spurs. Amanda Broja got a late equaliser for Burnley at Bournemouth, so that ended their 7-game losing run. Here's Scott Parker.
Huge pressure on us today, huge pressure on this young squad, and like I said, over the last few weeks we've been close on the fine margins, but there was no denying we had massive pressure on us, and mainly down to the run. I don't think it's down to the points tally we've got so far this year, because I see we're still right in it, but the actual run which we've been on, we needed to stop that really, and today was a massive result for us really, so I'm really, really pleased with that.
I know you were saying this week that nobody puts more pressure on your own shoulders than you. Do you feel that the result today has eased a little bit of pressure?
The pressure this year, and we're in a fight. I'm in a fight, these players are in a fight, we'll be in a fight for the remainder of this season, and that pressure will constantly be there. Like I said, we're used to that, for sure, but when you're in a fight you need certain ingredients, and we had that today, and we'll keep moving.
The other game in the Premier League, Brighton 0, Sunderland 0. We'll be back to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium shortly, and don't forget, Everton, Arsenal and Leeds Crystal Palace both get underway at 8 o'clock. You'll be able to follow them during 6:06. Here's Chris.
Yes, good evening, Mark. I want to hear from Burnley fans. Heard your manager there, Scott Parker. Was that a turning point for you today? Pep Guardiola talking about a margin to improve massive at Manchester City. City fans, you're back on top of the Premier League. Will you stay there? I mean, Mark, what about the daft challenge from Xavi Simons there? I mean, that was a red card. Do you agree with that, Mark? Just daft from him. Where are you with that? I mean, in your day when you played, maybe a yellow, maybe nothing, but that's a red card. And what about? I mean, baffled by how was Anthony Gordon's the challenge from Chalobah on him? How was that not the penalty? I mean, absolutely nuts. That was. They gave
the reasoning as it was a shielding of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, strange.
It was quite a
reasoning,
vigorous shielding of the ball.
It was. I mean, unbelievable that was. And we heard from Nuno Espirito Santo there. West Ham, they seem to be banging trouble. I know you love this type of stat, Mark. 33 points in the calendar year. For West Ham. That's not good enough. Only Wolves have got less than that, 28 points in the calendar year. And are Wolves the worst Premier League team of all time? Matt Doherty there. How do you want to be remembered this season? Want to hear from Wolves fans? I mean, absolutely pathetic. Maybe they should write to the Premier League and just ask to be relegated right now and not play any more games. And Coventry fans all kicked off. Did you see that, Mark?
Yes,
the end of the Southampton game. Frank Lampard quite passionate. I saw the Southampton players running round after him. On the pitch. Ipswich, up to third, Mark, and Huddersfield beat Rotherham. Proper Northern football. Let's hear from Huddersfield fans.
Motherwell have gone into third. Are they going to be Hearts' nearest challengers?
Yeah, well, maybe so. Interesting point.
Just
Is Mark Chapman right? Rangers and Celtic fans.
I know. I didn't phrase it like that. I asked the question to you.
Yeah, they might be.
You're a mischievous man. Adam Whitty at the rugby.
Where Bristol have just got a third try. They now lead by 17 points to 0 with half an hour gone. They had Joe Batley score using pure blunt force to knock down a Quins defender and score to the left of the post. And then Gabriel O'Gray, the England hooker from short range, dotting down. Bristol purely physical in this encounter. Harlequins nowhere really, and they're 17-0 down over the Bears with 32 minutes gone.
Liverpool definitely going to go for this in the second half. Back to Andy Reid and John Murray.
Yes, although it looks as though it's Conor Bradley who's having to come off, having got that, having picked up that knock before half time. So Isak is on Andy Reid, Bradley is off, so that's Szoboszlai back to right back again.
Yeah, I don't think he'll play much at right back the way this game will pan out. I'd imagine that he'll be playing really high up the pitch, and it should be a comfortable enough second half for Van Dijk and for Konate to mop up anything that might pop out. So I think we will find that Szoboszlai will play higher up the pitch.
Yes, that's with it being against the 10 men of Tottenham, as Chris Sutton and Mark Chapman were just discussing. Xavi Simons sent off. I get the impression from those we've spoken to that the feeling is, yes, probably the right decision, although I know that Tottenham fans will feel differently.
Yeah, it's difficult to argue with it, you know.
Here's Kirkes crossing into the Tottenham box, but it's gone all the way down over into the Tottenham left-back area, although it will be kept in there by Szoboszlai, pushing forward from right back. Plays it all the way back to the halfway line to Jones. There are still thousands of empty seats around the stadium. There are lots of delicious attractions inside the Tottenham stadium, but you know, this team down to 10 men need the home supporters backing. Van Dijk, Liverpool in their first choice colours, the red with the white trim, Tottenham likewise the white with the dark blue, and Liverpool attacking towards the end where their supporters are, all around the lower section in that corner, the lower tier of the stadium. Ekitike plays it out to Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai back to Ekitike, has a little look over his shoulder, the French international. Lovely pass into the edge of the penalty area to Jones, back out to Szoboszlai. He gets it onto his right foot. Here's the cross. Van de Ven was able to move into position, head it back out towards the Liverpool right, and they go back towards the halfway line. So Tottenham, after Simon sending off, Vicario in goal, back four of Porro, Romero, Van de Ven and Spence, then Bentancur and Gray, Kudus, Bergval and Kolo Muani. Had chances in the first half, Kolo Muani, but wasn't able really to stretch Alisson. But a match of actually few clear goal-scoring opportunities so far. Here though is Wirtz, now for Kirkes, angles it back into the path of Tottenham's Archie Gray, who's able to volley it out of play down the left. And Liverpool with Alisson, now Szoboszlai, Konate, Van Dijk and Kirkes, McAllister, Gravenberch, Jones, Wirtz, Alexander Isak and Ekitike. And Liverpool deep inside the Tottenham defensive third, with Wirtz back to McAllister, who's going to try the shot but hits it straight into the back of Porro. I think he felt that. It isn't the warmest, and that really slapped the back of his thigh. McAllister now to Gravenberch. Gravenberch again just gets away from Kolo Muani, turns, is able to pass it at close quarters to Wirtz. And then the German Wirtz, the number 7, gets it back, all right-footed as he approaches the penalty area. But then Kudus sticks in a foot and he's able to bring the ball away. I think he's trying to draw the foul. All he's got actually is the throw-in, but he'll take that.
I think what Tottenham need to be careful of, nobody's expecting them to come out and press Liverpool really high up the pitch, but when they do get into that block, they need to be careful that when the ball comes into the block, that they can get after it, they can get tight and they can try and win that ball back. Make it difficult, because just at the start of the second half it's just been pretty easy for Liverpool to knock it about, and then from a Liverpool perspective then they need to keep the tempo high. They need to get combinations in and around the central areas, combinations in the wide areas, get men into the box, but move the ball quickly to try and break and try and create them gaps.
That's Andy Reid, Premier League midfielder, Republic of Ireland international. This is Tottenham 0, Liverpool 0, and you would think that Thomas Frank will have to make good use of his substitutes here in this position. What a pass though from Van Dijk downfield from Ekitike. Spence does well against him though, stood up and then just eased into him and then comes away with the ball. Jed Spence, the Tottenham left back, wanted to pass the home supporters to Bergvall, who'd made the run down the left, but he checked back and went back into his own half.
Yeah, I think he's made the right decision there. I don't think Bergvall would have beaten Slobosai in a foot race, and I think he's made the right decision there. Tottenham at times are going to have to try and keep the ball as well, otherwise it's going to become very, very difficult.
You would have thought, Andy, that you'd see Richarlison at some stage, wouldn't you, having been relegated to the bench today?
And also the pace of Brennan Johnson, you'd expect to see him at some point if, they can keep it tight and still, or even if they end up going a goal down, somebody to get back into it.
Yeah, likewise. And there's Tell and Odebear as well. Tottenham coming forward, but this time Kudus actually takes it back into his own half. You can hear the frustration, and I can sense what Tottenham fans will be saying to one another about this. Forward it goes towards Bergvall. Bergvall, then back to Kudus. I'm sure many of them will be saying, if Ange Postecoglou had been the manager, they'd be going forward in this position. In fact, they go back into their own half. Here's Kudus, again groans. This patient build-up, but Tottenham are playing with 10 men here. Kudus against the 2 men and then hits the pass that Porro was looking to run onto, didn't get anywhere near it. He's overhit, goal kick.
Yeah, I know the fans are getting frustrated. You can feel it. I can understand it to a certain extent, but for them players out on the pitch, they're going to need the crowd to get behind them and really give them that support. You can't go forward so often when you're down to 10 men against a team like Liverpool, because they will hurt you.
Well, here's Isak now, the record signer, cutting into the penalty area from the left-hand side, but Tottenham deal with that quite comfortably. Then Kirkes is in on the challenge, but deflects it out of play, and it's a throw-in to Tottenham halfway inside their own half. And I think what you keep needing to point out is that yes, Tottenham won a trophy last season, the Europa League, which I notice is very much in big letters. It's now plastered onto the side of the stadium outside. Did you see that as you were coming today? I've not seen that before.
I did, yeah.
Massive banner along the side of the stadium. But what we haven't got to forget is they finished 17th in the Premier League last season. So that's what they're trying to improve on this season. But that's not going to stop the frustration growing. Here's Gravenberg. Tottenham 0, Liverpool 0. Lines are open for 606. Aaron Paul with Chris Sutton this evening. So 08085 909 693, which is free from landlines and mobiles. Cross from Szoboszlai is headed away for Tottenham. Kolo Muani gets it down, passes it behind Bergvall. And Liverpool red shirts getting back. Spence though, and his attempted ball forward was intercepted by Konate. Now Spence has got it down again and once more is running at the Liverpool defence. Bergvall flicks it forward. Szoboszlai, there was contact it seems on Spence, who went stumbling down. Referee Brooks says play on Liverpool.
Yeah, I think it was a free kick. Slobosai's got wrong-footed. He's torn completely away from the ball, and I think he's felled Jed Spence there. So I think that's a poor decision from the referee, and I can see why the Tottenham fans are disappointed with that, and Jed Spence as well.
Well, as you will probably be aware, only the captain can approach the referee. As the ball was put out of play by Bergvall as he tried to play it downfield, you heard the chorus of boos, and 5 Tottenham players were sort of encircling John Brooks, but all from about 10 yards away, and all gave him the stare.
Yeah, they weren't happy with that. I can see where they're coming from. I think Szoboszlai has felled Jed Spence there.
Oh, Jones might have a chance to take this on, but Bergvall quickly closed him down. He was 30 yards out, threatened to open up. Then Van Dijk. Here's Wirtz again. Florian Wirtz to Gravenberch, and the 10 men of Tottenham just trying to protect their penalty area as Szoboszlai curls one into the back post. Ekitike got that all wrong, mishit it as he arrived onto it. Wirtz though, lovely footwork from him, and he wins the corner for Liverpool off Kudus, who was the nearest Tottenham player. Corner from the left.
Yeah, I think Liverpool look dangerous when they put balls into the pucks, when they cross it, but there seems to be a little bit of reluctance. You know, that ball came in there, Szoboszlai whips the ball in, wasn't even great pace on it, but it caused all sorts of confusion. When they get into them wide areas, they need to deliver the ball.
Yes, and Alan Shearer was talking, wasn't he, recently about Liverpool and Isak, of how Newcastle with Gordon and Jacob Murphy or Barnes or whoever it happened to be, that's what Isak enjoyed. Corner then, Szoboszlai, well, he's hit that very deep across the penalty area. It's headed back to Jones, who takes it down. Jones drives it across, that was blocked by Bergvall. Bentancur went with a highish foot on McAllister near the edge of the penalty area, but it bounced away. Isak then shows too much of it to Bentancur, who's able to wallop it downfield out of play, and now Isak has collapsed down to the turf. Whether Bentancur caught him in the follow-through as he cleared that, I'm not sure, but he's definitely down, and now we've got players gathering over Isak, who's lying on the Tottenham turf, and there's a little bit of pushing and shoving going on there, but nothing too serious.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that he's going to bounce up and he's going to be all right, and you know, he might have caught him a little bit, but you know, I don't think there's any need. You know, I think what's happened there, as Bentancur's kicking through, his follow-through is caught. Has got Isak kind of in and around the knee, but it's a follow through. There's not much he can do about it. He's not done it on purpose, and you know, it can be sore, but I just think the rolling around, I just think it's a little bit unnecessary. It was purely accidental.
Yeah, it's exactly that. As he whacked it away downfield, his foot was naturally high, and made contact with Isak's knee, but he's okay.
It's impossible to kick the ball that hard and that far without a follow-through coming a little bit higher.
Absolutely. Tottenham 0, Liverpool 0. Now Wirtz. Kerkers across, that took a deflection, but it took it away towards the edge of the box. Gray was able to clear. Van Dijk now works it to Wirtz, and then again Liverpool. Wirtz gets it back from Jones. Still Wirtz, then to McAllister on the edge of the area, but the pace of the pass gave him no chance. Bergvall was able to get in there, and he runs it away for Tottenham. Kudus back to Bentancur. Tottenham still not out of their own half yet. Still Kudus, but Liverpool are very much back in position now. Romero's pass actually hits McAllister, and then Isak, and now across from the right hand side from Ekitike to Wirtz, and now Isak's in to score with his left foot. Shoots past Vicario, and Liverpool all over Tottenham there. Isak's been injured in the scoring of the goal, but he has got his second Premier League goal for Liverpool. He's third in their colours, and it is Tottenham 0, Liverpool 1, and against the 10 men, Liverpool have finally found a way through.
Yeah, it's a really good goal from a Liverpool perspective. Ekitike slips it across the Wirtz, who puts in right into the path of Isak, takes on his left foot, really good finish, good pace, good power, lifts it just a little bit. But from a Tottenham perspective, and if you're Thomas Frank, so disappointed. Christian Romero, straight ball into midfield, really sloppy turnover, and then Liverpool really incisive, and it's a good goal. Really good goal from a Liverpool perspective. So disappointing, and the last thing you need to do if you're a Tottenham player, especially somebody with the experience of Christian Romero.
Yeah, just that distribution from the back which has hurt Tottenham really now, match after match we're seeing this. And Isak was actually injured here after shooting goalwards and sending the ball past Vicario. Van de Ven sliding in, trying to get there, actually made contact with Isak, and they've actually brought the stretcher on. Whether it'll be needed or not, I'm not sure, but looking down on him there, he is sitting up now, but he does look in some pain and some distress.
Yeah, I just wonder if it's maybe something in and around his knee. He didn't get up, he looked in pain. We were maybe critical of him a couple of minutes before for rolling around, and it's a bit like the boy who cried wolf. But he does look like he is in a bit of pain. The positive is he sat up, and physios look to be manoeuvring in and around his knee, and just as he took that shot on his left foot, and Tottenham defender was trying to get back in, and maybe they collided.
Tottenham do make a change, and it is Brennan Johnson, as you suggested, Andy. And there's a bit of speculation, isn't there, at the moment? You know Brennan Johnson very well, about whether his future might lie away from Tottenham, but he's the first man that Thomas Frank has turned to here, and I'm pleased to say it looks as though the stretcher is not going to be needed for Alexander Isak, but he is still receiving treatment. So let's make another visit to Twickenham, get an update from Adam Whitty.
Bristol are utterly dominant. They have a fourth try at Twickenham. They lead Harlequins 26-0 at half-time. Lewis Rees-Zammit with the bonus point tried to end the half. A glorious chip and chase from the Welshman. He dived over to the right of the post. Bristol pure pace and power. Harlequins nothing really. They get trailed 26-0 to Bristol half-time.
And it is Ospreys 10, Munster 26 in the 5:30 kick-off in the United Rugby Championship. And Isak is being led off the field. He's not going to be able to continue, Andy, because I see that Jeremy Frimpong is going to be brought on. Yeah, he is now. So Alexander Isak came on at half-time, has just scored the opening goal, but was injured in the process, and that's the end of his afternoon, less than 15 minutes.
Yeah, I've just seen the replay, and it looks like it's his ankle. Just as he struck through it, and as he's planted his foot after the finish, Romero, I think it is, getting back across, he slid in, or it might have been Van de Ven, and he's just caught his ankle, and it's a little awkward, and you can see it.
So Jeremy Frimpong makes his return, his first appearance since October. He's been out with a thigh injury, so he's missed the last 12 Liverpool matches in all competitions, the Dutch international. Brennan Johnson into the action for the first time down the right, swings over the cross, but beyond anyone in a white Tottenham shirt, and Szoboszlai is able to play it away. So the question was going to be whether Frimpong would play as right back, and whether that would move Szoboszlai back further forward, but it does look as though Frimpong is going to play in the advanced role, and Szoboszlai will stay as the right back.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they've changed too much. It's kind of like for like. Ekitike will probably just come a little bit more central, and Frimpong out to that right-hand side. Ekitike's pass to Wirtz on that transition when Romero turned the ball over. It was incisive. It was really, really good, precise ball, and it really set that move off. It was a brilliant pass.
Tottenham 0, Liverpool 1. So the injuries just mounting a little for Liverpool in that area where they are so well endowed, aren't they? But Gakpo's not involved today. We know that Mo Salah is away with Egypt, and now Isak is injured. McAllister's just taken a knock there, and he's stayed down momentarily, but he's okay, he's back on his feet. Now Szoboszlai, here is Frimpong into the action for the first time. So on score at Wembley in the Community Shield right at the start of the season. Frimpong, who remember was another arrival from Bayer Leverkusen, almost £30 million they spent on him. Here is Curtis Jones, now back to the record signing at the time from Bayer Leverkusen, Wirtz, ball to the edge of the box. Tottenham are able to clear that. Liverpool leading by 1-0. Bentancur's pass will run out of play near the halfway line. There are still 2 more Premier League matches this evening, which we'll update you on during the course of 606. Firstly, Arsenal, who will need to win at Everton to go back above Manchester City at the top of the table, and the team news comes from Everton from Nathan Albon.
And Ødegaard, Trossard and Calafiori all start in 3 changes for Arsenal. Ben White is injured, Martinelli and Eze drop to the bench. For Everton, looking to hunt down Liverpool, McNeil, Irabunam and Alcaraz come in for the injured Dewsbury Hall, and with Ndiaye and Gana Gueye at AFCON.
And also team news to the east, Leeds Crystal Palace, Charlie Slater.
Daniel Farke makes 1 change to a Leeds side that drew at Brentford last weekend. Aronson in for Tanaka, who drops to the bench. Crystal Palace only played 48 hours ago, but they revert to their tried and tested Premier League lineup. 2 changes from defeat against Manchester City. Hughes and Nketiah start for Sarr, who's gone to AFCON, and the injured Kamada.
So just 2 changes, even though they played on Thursday night, and then will play on Tuesday in the Carabao Cup quarter-final against Arsenal. Here's Frimpong into the box, but as he tried to drive forward, he overhit the ball and knocked it straight through for a goal kick. You will hear that, by the way, on Tuesday night, the night of the 23rd, Arsenal Crystal Palace, do join us 2 nights before Christmas, and 5 Live Sport will be on the air on Boxing Day from 1 o'clock. But we'll update those 2 matches during the course of 606. The lines are open, 08 085 909 693, free from mobiles and landlines. You can text in 85058 at your standard message rate, and get in touch. Social media, hashtag BBC 606. Liverpool leading 1-0, but Colomwani gets away, and now into the penalty area. The angle's tight, he shoots, it's deflected, hits the bar and bounces down. Agony for Tottenham. It seemed from up on high that was going to drop underneath the crossbar, but it hit it and stayed out. Now Spence with a shot from outside the area, but it's straight at Alisson.
So unlucky from Tottenham. Well, lucky in the first place and then unlucky in the second part. Colomwani does really well. He bursts forward, gets on the outside of Kerkez. Kerkez does well to get back and get a block on it, but it loops up over the keeper. You just think it's going to land on Brennan Johnson's head. He's going to nod it in, but it lands on top of the crossbar and agonisingly pops out. So unlucky from a Tottenham perspective there. That could have landed anywhere, even in the back of the net, and it didn't.
Yeah, they need everything really to go their way now. 10 men, 1-0 down. That's the first thing really that they've created in the second half.
Yeah, it just goes to show you that you can't hurt this team even with 10 men.
Gravenberch now on the edge of the area. Ekitike that bounced up awkwardly for him, and Tottenham were able to take their chance to clear it away. Wirtz again. Wirtz, Kerkez has now got some space. It comes across, took a deflection off Romero, could have gone anywhere, could easily have fallen for a red shirt. Instead it fell for a teammate in white, and Tottenham were able to bring it away with Spence, who wins the throw-in halfway inside their own half.
It's a little bit more conventional from Liverpool in terms of the shape at the moment. You've got Frimpong, he's high and wide on the right hand side. You've got Wirtz high and wide on this left hand side. Both fullbacks are getting involved, and you've got Ekitike then as that 9, and McAllister is trying to get as close as he possibly can to him.
Now Brennan Johnson wrestling away with Kerkez. Both go to ground. Liverpool come out with the ball. Ekitike then challenged by Romero. That's out of play for a throw into Liverpool, who lead 1-0. In the National League, the 5:30 latest scores: Tamworth 1, Southend 1. York City now 3-0 up on Truro, and Liverpool with Gravenberch. Liverpool knowing here that if they can get a second goal, that will probably be it. That'll probably be the points here. Frimpong on the right into the penalty area against Spence, checks back, left-footed cross, took a little deflection. Ekitike heads it in. Well, Tottenham are furious. Tottenham are running towards the referee, but Ekitike is celebrating. Referee Brooks pulls out a yellow card. Ekitike down with his teammates in the corner. It's 2-0. Romero's with the referee, but Liverpool have now got that 2-0 lead, and Ekitike, hanging header, his 11th of the season, and it's Tottenham 0, Liverpool 2.
We thought it might be a cross into the box there. Tottenham come unstuck, and it's Frimpong. He comes back on his left foot and whips it in there. Ekitike, he hangs up, and what the Tottenham players are complaining about is that he's hanging on the back of Romero. Is he leaning over the top of him? I just think he gets higher than Romero, and Romero doesn't jump early enough. He does have his hands on his back. He does have his hands on his back. Is it enough? Tottenham could be on the end of 2 decisions.
Is that enough? Is that enough of a clear and obvious to overturn it? I mean, Tottenham are furious.
Yeah, they're absolutely furious. He does have a hand on his back, but I think what helps the Liverpool player there is that he gets off the ground earlier than Romero. Romero tries to jump a little bit later. Ekitike is already up in there, and he is up there. That's a good header, by the way. He nods it back across, and it falls into the top of the net.
We've not had the restart yet, but Anthony Taylor has drawn the attention of John Brooks, the referee, who's pointed to someone on the Tottenham bench. So he's run all the way over here, and he's shown a yellow card to a member of Thomas Frank's coaching staff. So there's a yellow card being shown down there, and the goal stands. Clearly the Tottenham staff have complained to Anthony Taylor, the fourth official, but the goal stands. It is Tottenham 0, Liverpool 2, and Hugo Ekitike now has 5 goals in his last 4 appearances, and that is 5 in his last 3 Premier League matches.
Yeah, he hung in the air really well. He got up early, and I think that was Romero's problem, was Ekitike was already in the air and he had his leverage, and then when Romero tried to jump, he couldn't get any leverage, he couldn't get up and compete, and it was a good header from Ekitike. Really difficult for Tottenham now to get back into this game. Do they overcommit? If they start to commit more men forward, there's going to be gaps, and it could end up being 3, 4 or even 5.
Well, they scored 6 here last season, scored 15 in all competitions against Tottenham last season, but I think it's a fair question. In fact, I'll pose that question in a minute, Andy, because Bergvall's going to take a long throw for Tottenham, who need a goal, and they need one quickly. They are right up against it here. Down to 10 men before half-time when Simons was sent off. You'll be able to see that on Match of the Day tonight. Of course, new this season, all of the clips and all of the goals, 8 o'clock on the various BBC platforms. Spence with a pass over the top, but that will just bounce away and through. Question is, Andy, was Ekitike able to hang in the way that he did in the air because he made that contact on Romero?
Yeah, he was leaning on the back of him. It's difficult to see whether there was an awful lot of contact, and just don't know if he got up earlier. They've obviously checked it. I mean, they didn't spend an awful lot of time checking it, because by the time the referee had dished out a couple of bookings, he was ready to blow his whistle to get it started. So they obviously made a decision on it really quickly. I just think what gave him the advantage was the fact that he got up earlier.
Tottenham fans are going to be seething, aren't they?
They are. They're frustrated. There's a lot of frustration around here. You can feel that. I probably feel that Simons shouldn't have been sent off, although I disagree with them on that. I think it was a silly challenge, and then there's been a couple of decisions that the referee has made. Tottenham feel he's not on their side today, and that just kind of caps it off, really, doesn't it?
With the Simons sending off, incidentally, our colleague Conor McNamara, who's commentating for television here today, came over at half-time, and he told us, because if you're commentating on TV, you can hear the VAR conversation, and he was telling us that the discussion was that Simons, when he came in on his challenge on Van Dijk, the ball was a significant distance away from Van Dijk, and that played a part in the decision. Liverpool again, McAllister through, Ekitike turns, but Van de Ven was able to get the block, and there's an offside flag, so it's a free kick for Tottenham.
I think another point to make on that, and what they've obviously been talking about, is that it just shows how unnecessary that tackle was. The ball was so far away that there was no need that Simons needed to make that tackle.
Another double change for Tottenham, who are going to bring on João Palhinha. I did wonder if he might have started today, and also Wilson Odobert. So Archie Gray and Bergvall are the players to come off. Two teenagers, the two 19-year-olds.
Yeah, well, I think you get obviously a lot of experience and kind of solidity in that midfield area with Palhinha, so he will help there. And now that you've got Brennan Johnson on this right-hand side and Odobert off that left-hand side, Colomwani through the middle, there's definitely some pace and some power that they might feel that on transition, if Liverpool overcommit, they can get in and maybe pull one back.
Problem is, it's Tottenham 0, Liverpool 2. Isak and Ekitike, the goal scorers, but Isak, immediately after scoring the goal, got injured, thought it was an ankle problem, Andy, as Van de Ven put in the challenge on him, so he's had to leave the field.
Yeah, it was one of them where Van de Ven was coming across and he slid in to try and stop the shot. Isak got the shot off with his left foot before Van de Ven could get there, and the follow-through just caught him in between, almost caught his ankle in between two of Van de Ven's both of his legs, and they can be sore ones them, and you knew there was pain on his face right from the moment that happened.
It's been quite stop-start for him, hasn't it, this season? What with, and part of that's down to him, isn't it? Refusing to get involved at Newcastle in the pre-season. Since he's come to Liverpool, he's been in and out, really, and had a spell out as well. And we'll find out from Arne Slot. Hopefully we'll hear from him live during 606 on the extent of that Isak injury. Liverpool coming forward with Wirtz. Wirtz back to Kerkez. But Liverpool now have got Tottenham really where they want them. We'll have to see if these Thomas Frank changes can have any impact on the game. But Liverpool knocking it around now. Szoboszlai to Frimpong, who's inside the penalty area. He created the goal for Ekitike. In it goes. McAllister. Wirtz with a chance at the back post arriving, but I think he was in an offside position. The flag was up, and if he'd been able to convert that, he wouldn't have been able to get off the mark in the Premier League. It's a free kick to Tottenham.
Yeah, pretty comfortable now for Liverpool at this stage. They're knocking the ball about pretty comfortably. Still think where they look most dangerous are balls into the box from the wide areas. The ball come back to Gravenberch that time, and he whips the ball. They scored the goal from Ekitike and from a cross from a wide area, and they look dangerous when that ball comes in there. Tottenham struggle to deal with them balls from the wide areas.
The Magic app, Andy, has told us that it was Andreas Georgsson, the assistant coach, the set-piece expert, who got the yellow card in the aftermath of the second Liverpool goal. Tottenham 0, Liverpool 2. Chris Sutton waiting to take your calls with Aaron Paul on 606, the last Saturday night before Christmas. 08 085 909 693. There are lots of Tottenham callers. Frimpong's ball in from the right hand side hits Van de Ven, who's slightly behind him, so he had to adjust, and as he did so, deflected it away behind for a corner for Liverpool from the right. Szoboszlai is being absolutely hailed as a hero, isn't he, there, as he makes his way over after the season that he's had.
Yeah, he's popular, there's no doubt about that, and he's a fantastic player. Seems like he can play anywhere on the pitch as well.
Szoboszlai stepping away at an angle. Liverpool this time grouping players mainly between the penalty spot and the edge of the area, 4 of them there. Then comes the delivery, which is headed away. I think Romero got his head at that, nodded back in by Frimpong. Liverpool take up possession again. Wirtz hits a high one to the edge of the area. Van de Ven up to head that down and away, but Frimpong is able to collect the ball and keep possession for Liverpool, who are on their way to what would be 3 wins in a row in all competitions, and extend this. I think I would call it a recovery run, wouldn't you, from Liverpool, from the position that they were in, getting more back to the form that they showed right at the start of the season when they started with win after win.
They're starting to look more like themselves, all right, that's for sure. They played well at times tonight, put together some really good moves, and admittedly Tottenham have gone down to 10 men, but even before they still knocked it about pretty well. There's players starting to come into a bit of form, and you can see them just as we say that let's one run under his feet. You go back to the callers, the Tottenham callers coming into 606 tonight, and this performance, I suppose the performance last week, it's not going to do anything to answer the questions that are being asked of Thomas Frank at the moment. It's a really sticky situation. I still believe that's the right thing and that he needs more time, but these Tottenham fans are going to be asking questions. When is it going to get better? When are we going to be able to see Thomas Frank really stamping his authority on this team, his principles that he wants to bring in?
As Kolo Muani goes down, turning Konate on the halfway line. It's a yellow card for Konate for that challenge. And Konate and Van Dijk have been relatively untroubled during the match. Kolo Muani had those chances in the first half, but what didn't allow him to turn, so that's a yellow card for the Liverpool defender. Tottenham 0, Liverpool 2. 5 live from the BBC. Listen as well via BBC Sounds, and the live sport will resume on BBC Sounds tonight at 11:30 for the last knockings from Adelaide, as Australia finish off England and confirm their retaining of the Ashes. So you won't want to miss that if you're from Australia. It's on Test Match Special from 11:30 tonight. Here is Brennan Johnson for Tottenham. The ball goes all the way back to Vicario on the edge of the area, who passes it out to Van de Ven. We'll keep you up to date on Everton against Arsenal. Arsenal have to win that. If it's a draw, Manchester City will stay top on goal difference, and Leeds and Crystal Palace as well at Elland Road. Must be an ominous feeling for Arsenal that Manchester City have edged ahead of them.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a brilliant title race, isn't it? We all thought at one point that Arsenal we're going to run away with it, but it hasn't proved to be the case. And Man City with brilliant form, look more like the Man City of old, and really making a title charge, aren't they?
Yeah, and Liverpool with this win will be coming back into the, what would we say, the fringe of the picture this morning. Liverpool were 10 points behind Arsenal. Here is Jones. Back it goes to Van Dijk. Curtis Jones again picks out the pass out to the right hand side, and then Frimpong has a little bit of space out there, takes it down into the full back position, but then plays it further back to Gravenberch, now through the middle. Wirtz, he's looking for the 1-2, or at least that's what McAllister thought on the edge of the area. Looked to have played that perfectly for Wirtz's run into the box, but he didn't make the run.
No, we didn't. It was nice interlinking, good play in there, combinations in the central area, moved it quickly. Wirtz just didn't carry on his run. He's looked lively though, Wirtz. He's played really well at times in pockets and taken up some really clever positions.
Yeah, and here he is now, taking up a position on the left-hand side. First time pass back to Ekitike. Watching them as we did in the Community Shield match right at the start of the season, when Liverpool in the end lost out to Crystal Palace on penalties. There were really promising signs between Ekitike and Wirtz. Here's Jones for Liverpool, 25 yards out. Tottenham can't get the ball back at the moment. 2-0 down, 10 men, can't get the ball. That's not a good combination for Thomas Frank and his team. Frimpong takes it into the box. Now McAllister is able to collect it. Szoboszlai with the cross, headed away by Romero, leaping on the edge of his 6-yard box. Kerkez, now Wirtz, first time touch. Wirtz again, and Ekitike together. Liverpool, I think most of the Liverpool players have had a touch of the ball in this period of possession. Now Konate, he might not, he's joined in, and then Frimpong coming back from an offside position. Free kick to Tottenham. So Tottenham 0, Liverpool 2. Back to Twickenham, Adam Whitty.
Bristol's dominance continues. A fifth try, a 33-0 lead over Harlequins 3 minutes into the second half. Flanker Santiago Grondona breaking free from the maul to dive over. Bristol carrying on where they left off at Twickenham. They lead 33-0 over Quins, 45 minutes gone.
And Ospreys 10, Munster 26 in the United Rugby Championship. And with 10 minutes to go, Andy, Richarlison is on for Kolo Muani.
Yeah, it's like for like. I can't see him getting too much joy. Tottenham have, other than the opportunity that they had from Kolo Muani, the deflected one that looped up onto the crossbar, they haven't had too much in and around the Liverpool goal mouth at all. There hasn't been too many opportunities.
Yeah.
So,
in fact, that's it, isn't it, in terms of what they've created in the second half, although they've won a free kick, Gravenberch. So a free kick for Tottenham, and they've just got to, in situations like this, 2-0 down, they've got to take advantage of these situations.
Yeah, absolutely. Commit as many men as you can forward for this free kick. The delivery becomes really, really important, and then the desire for somebody to get the head on it.
10 minutes to go. Lines open for 606 08 085 909 693. Aaron Paul and Chris Sutton waiting for your call. But this Tottenham free kick, Pedro Porro to take it. Here he is, right-footed into the box, glancing, headed up in the air actually, and then it bounces across the box, and Richarlison is just going to see the bouncing ball out in the end for a corner. This is Tottenham's first corner of the match.
It was a good delivery from Porro, and he's coming across here onto this right-hand side to take the corner. It's going to be an outswinger. Plenty of men forward, and men who can head the ball as well.
It's defended well by Kerkez in the end, who was the player who headed the initial ball up in the air. So Pedro Porro, having taken the free kick, it is now Porro to take the corner for Tottenham. Bentancur is complaining that he's been manhandled by Frimpong, so the referee's going to step in there and point his finger at Frimpong and Bentancur.
What I will say on this is set up for an outswinger, so the ball is going to be drifting away, and all the Tottenham players are in the 6-yard box.
Yeah, they are. I think the referee was pointing at Bentancur there. Right, here is the corner. Pedro Porro, high one. Romero with a header. Van der Ven's gone down in the box. So's Richarlison. Shot goalwards. Then Palhinha. And then Richarlison! Right foot into the Liverpool net, and Tottenham have got a goal. Now it's all urgency. Richarlison said something to Szoboszlai. And then yellow card shown, I think, to Szoboszlai in the middle of all that. He stopped on the way back from scoring the goal and celebrating. There was enough time for Richarlison to stop, say something to Szoboszlai, and then sprint away from the scene of it. Typical Richarlison, but also Richarlison driving it in, 8 yards out. Tottenham 1, Liverpool 2.
Well, I didn't give him much hope of of getting on the end of anything when he came on 2 minutes ago. That shut me up, that has. A scramble in the box. Polini's involved in it, Brennan Johnson's involved in it, Romero's involved in it. He falls to Richarlison, right-footed, bumps it into that bottom corner. There's a check for something. The referee hasn't started the game yet.
Andy, if they rule this out, there is going to be absolute uproar.
Get the tin hats on if he rules this out.
Oh dear. Tottenham players, palms apart, still no restart. There's no immediate indication to us what the issue might be. I mean, there was all sorts going on inside the penalty area as the ball rattled around, and still we wait.
I couldn't see anything obvious there, John. I'll be surprised if this goal isn't given.
I think it has. Yeah, it has. And John Brooks is saying to Liverpool, come on, you need to get the restart going here. So it is Tottenham 1, Liverpool 2, and McAllister is making out that he wasn't aware that he needed to get on with it, that the decision had been made. So now Liverpool are just looking to see this out.
Yeah, well, momentum's an incredible thing, and it's going to be with Tottenham now. The fans are nice and loud, they're getting behind them. Tottenham will be on the front foot. Can they get anything out of this game? It could be a grandstand finish.
Richarlison, he's a rascal, isn't he? That's his 8th goal of the season for Tottenham, and then a free kick given for a little challenge on McAllister by Van der Ven, and a yellow card for that challenge as well for the Tottenham defender.
There's still going to be plenty of time left here. Isak was down a couple of times, and then the one where he came off, it was 3 or 4, maybe even 5 minutes for that. So there's probably 10, 12, maybe even 15 minutes left in this game.
He was late there, Van der Ven, but his momentum took it into McAllister, and I'm not sure there'll be too much wrong with McAllister here, who has said he doesn't want the physio to come onto the field. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, McAllister knows exactly what he's doing. From a Tottenham perspective, and Thomas Frank will be, and all the fans will be on it, make sure that the referee plays the right amount of injury time.
So, play resumes. Oh, Richarlison has been able to win it back. Johnson through the middle to Richarlison, still going, shoots, and it's blocked by Konate. There were 3 defenders around him, and Konate got himself into the right place and was able to block the weakish shot. And then Liverpool concede a throw-in. Szoboszlai has gone down, stayed down. Referee's allowed play to continue. The ball's played into the box. I think that struck Jones' arm inside the penalty area as it was being crossed by Odegaard. It bounces away for what's given as a corner. But the outstretched arm, I thought it hit Jones' arm. It was head onto arm.
Head onto arm. I don't think it's a penalty, but I'll tell you what, he's fortunate because he had both of his arms out in an unnatural position, and if it hadn't come off his head, I think that could have been a penalty. My gut feeling says it's just going to be a corner kick here, but Liverpool are on the ropes. That was a great chance for Richarlison. Brennan Johnson slipped them through, and the defenders got back and got a corner to defend now, but this place is rocking at the moment.
Tottenham 1, Liverpool 2. I'm not sure how many were expecting this to be a grandstand finish, but that's what we've got here. At the Cockerell end, the South Stand end, the corner comes in for Spurs, but Kirkhouse is able to fly forward and head that away and out for a throw-in on the far side. And Richarlison, when he was sent through there by Johnson, he had the 3 players around him and he just couldn't get the ball away from them, so they were able to crowd him out in the end.
It was a brilliant pass by Brennan Johnson. The weight on it was brilliant. The Liverpool defenders, in fairness, did get back pretty quickly.
Spence looking to cross, it hits the defender Frimpong and bounces out the other side of the corner flag, so it's a throw-in to Tottenham. 3 minutes to go. Tottenham 1, Liverpool 2. Lines open for 606 to call Aaron Paul and Chris Sutton on 08 085 909 693. The mood is transformed inside the stadium. Richarlison now gets it back, crosses, but Alisson stretches up high and is able to make the catch. And Richarlison, I'm just going to keep my eyes on him, Andy, as he makes his way back towards the edge of the area and then just stands in front of Alisson as he hits it downfield, gives possession back. I'm not sure Liverpool have got themselves in this position. Frimpong has seems to have a problem. Tottenham with Spence. In comes the challenge on him from Szoboszlai, and
I mean, these Liverpool players, they really need to regain their composure here. They're moaning at the referee for everything. They look like they're a bit rattled at the moment.
They do.
I think Alisson was trying to kick the ball out there a second ago, but he never made the side of the pitch, and Tottenham played out because Szoboszlai was down, injured, and they look rattled at this moment in time.
Yeah, and who has been the rattler in chief? Richarlison. And now Frimpong has sat down, and now Richarlison is leading Brennan Johnson over there to where Frimpong was on the ground, and he's very quickly got up because they were going to bring the physio on, I think. In fact, they have. The physios are on there on the field, so Frimpong has had to sit down again. He'll have to leave the field. I see that Arne Slot is going to bring on Chiesa. And suddenly now, over the course of the last 10 minutes, Andy, the mood here inside the stadium has changed so dramatically.
Yeah, incredible. It's amazing what a goal does. They're back in it, the fans are right up for it, the players look like they've got a spring in their step, and you have to say the focal point, the one who's really driven that, is Richarlison. He got the goal, but other than the goal, he's been on the front foot. He's, like you say, he's winding them Liverpool players up, and they're rattled.
Not for the first time. Remember him in his Everton days against them. He scored 4 times at Anfield against them, you know.
Well, look,
years.
It's that time of year, isn't it? Pantomime villains come out.
Right. Well, Chiesa's waiting to come on. They're not making the change because they're waiting to see how Frimpong is, but he's going to have to leave the field. He's going to have to leave the field first of all before they make this change. And in fact, he's on now, and he is coming on for Frimpong. So that's the second Liverpool player who has come on as a substitute and had to be substituted off. So Chiesa is on. Tottenham 1, Liverpool 2. 9 minutes of added time at a raucous Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Now all of the energy has been directed in the right place. In comes the free kick. Alisson comes and gets a good punch on that. Right arm, high above all the heads. He swept it away with his fist, and it has been deflected out of play for what is a Liverpool throw, even though Richarlison was picking the ball up and was waiting to take the throw for Spurs.
I love how this game has come to life. It's brilliant. We thought it was over. Tottenham looked dead and buried, really. 2-0 down. They couldn't get a foothold in the game, and all of a sudden, even with 10 men, they've made a right fist of it here, and the fans have come along with them.
Yeah, and Richarlison at the heart of it, heads it out of play as he's trying to find Johnson, but it's a throw into Liverpool. Richarlison, who in the northeast of England they would call him a worky ticket, to throw in for Kirkes up towards Ekitike. Wirtz sends it forward. Arne Slot must be wondering how his team have got themselves into a position here that this 3 points is in any danger. Oh, Bentancur sliced the ball back to his own penalty area, but Vicario was able to come out and gather it. So 9 minutes of added time.
I still feel, John, there'll be one more chance in this game. You know, I really feel there's a chance in it. I'm not too sure who it's going to fall to, but at the moment you would probably say Tottenham, but I said there'll be one more opportunity.
The other thing as well is that for Thomas Frank, this could be massive if they're able to get something out of this in terms of the general feeling. However, Van Dijk heads it forward for Ekitike. Ekitike, though, Bentancur did well enough, and Van de Ven was able to take the ball and pass it back to Vicario. And of course the anger today has been directed at the officials, at VAR. Simon sending off in the first half decisions when Ekitike scored his goal, as Konate, who is on a yellow card, has put a challenge in on Romero, and he stayed on the ground. This is 10 yards outside the penalty area. I don't think he's in any danger of getting it. He is, you know. Oh, he is.
He sent Romero off.
It's Romero. No, well, is it?
Is it?
He's shown a second yellow card in there. Was Romero on a yellow? He was. Romero got booked, wasn't he, for remonstrating?
Off there.
And it is the Tottenham captain who has been sent off. A second yellow card for that challenge on Konate. Simon sent off in the first half. Yet again, this fixture throws up 2 red cards. And now Christian Romero off in this match. Tottenham down to 9 men.
It's ridiculous. You know, it's ridiculous. trying to look at the replay there, it looks like he's potentially kicked out as they were both on the ground. It looks like he's potentially kicked out at Konate. So I can't tell whether it was from that or whether it's for trying to get Konate booked, but whichever one it is ridiculous from Romero, completely unnecessary. His team are on the front foot, they're back in the game, he's just won his team a free kick, and then he goes and gets himself sent off. Two crazy sending offs here, really.
2 men sent off. Tottenham against Liverpool. Do you remember the match a couple of years ago when Curtis Jones and Diogo Jota got sent off when Luis Diaz scored the goal that shouldn't have been given? Remember Andy Robertson being sent off in this fixture a few years ago as well. So now with 9 men, Tottenham 1, Liverpool 2. Spurs free kick, Pedro Porro. This is 30 yards out. Porro comes up, right-footed, strikes it goalwards, and Alisson deals with that really well. He didn't strike it brilliantly, but it was dipping awkwardly, and the Liverpool goalkeeper gathered it in expertly on the half volley.
You need to get more power on than that. It was one of them areas that it was just probably a little bit too close to put it into the box and a bit too far out to shoot. It was really in between.
And now Bentancur has clattered into Romero, and there's no discussion about that yellow card for Bentancur.
It's got really feisty the last 15-20 minutes. As soon as Tottenham got that goal, gone right on the front foot. The Liverpool players have been rattled, and just going back to the Romero second booking, whether it was for kicking out at him or whether it was for complaining to the referee, trying to get Konate booked, it was so, for a player of his experience to get sent off in that situation, it's crazy stuff.
Yeah, from the captain as well of Tottenham, when they were really putting Liverpool under pressure. So that means Romero will be suspended for the match against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park next weekend, next Sunday. Commentaries on 5 Live tomorrow. Hearts against Rangers, Aston Villa, Manchester United, but this one's not finished yet as Hotspur takes it down the left-hand side, but Liverpool, Szoboszlai was able to wrestle the ball back. We've played 5 minutes of the 9 of added time. 08085 909 693. If you're a Tottenham fan, you'll want to talk to Aaron Paul and Chris Sutton. Here's Hotspur again for Tottenham. Right-footed ball in, but Van Dijk was there in the right place, able to stoop and head it back out for a throw.
I have to give these Tottenham players credit. They've really stood up. When they went 2-0 down, they haven't crumbled. They're back into it, and they're still pushing now, even with 9 men.
Yep. Bentancur, then back to Hotspur. They still think they might have a chance of getting a point here. What a point it would be. Bentancur plays it in. Van Dijk heads it away. Hasn't cleared the penalty area though. Ekitike battling for it. Van de Ven's there as well. Ball still rattling around. Pedro Porro shoots. Deflected. Oh, it deflected into the path of Alisson, who is able to hold it securely again. Excellent handling from the Liverpool goalkeeper after it took a flick off Kirkes.
It needed to be as well, John, because if that had popped out, there was 2 or 3 Tottenham players around there ready to knock it in. Good play by Porro. Whipped the ball in, took a little deflection, and Alisson's done well.
Liverpool trying to bring it away downfield, but Van de Ven is able to step in, pass it back to his goalkeeper Vicario. Still got time. We're in the 7th minute of added time. Long and forward from Vicario. Richarlison is able to win the ball against Szoboszlai. Gives it to Hotspur. Hotspur takes on Szoboszlai. Still going. Little Hotspur on his right foot with a cross. Oh, Van de Ven was in the middle. Van Dijk goes down. Might have been caught by an arm. Liverpool break away with Jones. Jones passes it forward to Wirtz, but sprinting across, Spence does ever so well and forces Wirtz to play it back to Jones, who is going to be out-muscled by Brennan Johnson, and then there's a foul on Porro by McAllister. I think that'll be a yellow card as well. It is. Yet another one.
Brilliant
I'm
by
losing
Brennan
count now.
It was brilliant by Brennan Johnson there. He's won that ball back, and the Liverpool players are getting frustrated. This ball's going to go long. What a finish to the game. Incredible.
I'll count them up later. It's a free kick to Tottenham. Vicario. We're in the 8th minute of added time. We've got about 90 seconds left of these 9 minutes. Vicario, long and forward from him. Richarlison beaten in the air by Konate. However, he's headed it to Tottenham's Bentancur, and then Bentancur receives it back in his shiny black boots, passes it back to Spence. Spence then square to Brennan Johnson. Liverpool got everyone back against the 9 men, remember, of Tottenham. In comes the ball into the area, but Gravenberch is able to head it away. Vicario came so far and then decided he needed to retreat, so Brennan Johnson had to get there first for Tottenham, but he does. And we are now moving into the 9th minute of added time. Groans because Szoboszlai stepped in, and then Chiesa can't keep it in. There have been 7 yellows and 2 reds. Then
just looking at the Tottenham shape here, you got Van der Ven playing in the 10 somehow. Brendan Johnson looks like he's playing in the 6. The shape is just completely gone. They're doing anything they can to get back into this game, and they've made a good fist of it.
Yeah, and Arne Slot is going to I mean, this is a tactical substitution, really. It's a double substitution. Ekitike is coming off. Trey Nioni is coming on for his Premier League debut, incidentally, the 18-year-old England under-20 international, and Andy Robertson as well. And so Wirtz and Ekitike coming off and being thrown into the final seconds. As I say, Trey Nioni, former Leicester youngster, is going to get his first taste of Premier League action in what's been quite a match, Andy.
Yeah, now it has. It's really heated up the last half an hour. It's been quite entertainment. At times probably lacked the quality that we might like to see, but it's been entertaining. There's been good tempo to the game, plenty of talking points, incidents in the game, and plenty of discussions to come out of it.
So the time is almost up. Liverpool are nearly there, but from 2-0 up, they've been given quite a scare, even though Tottenham have had 2 men sent off. Christian Romero, there's going to be lots to talk about this with Aaron Paul and Chris Sutton on 606 08 085 909 693 to join in. We are now into the 10th minute of added time, but the substitutions have been made, so there will be extra time as Robertson plays it forward, but Vicario is able to come forward, keeps the ball in play, but the offside flag is up, so it's a free kick. Vicario to take this. I think this might be it. Last chance. It will be a famous point if Tottenham are able to snatch a goal and a draw from this last attack, but they are not out of it yet. Vicario then, high and long to the edge of the Liverpool box. That's headed away for Liverpool, back to Odegaard. Then Richarlison flicks it forward, Odegaard into the area, and then cross it comes, Alisson with a punch, and he punches it to comparative safety. He punches it to his teammate Robertson, who's able to get a touch downfield. Bentancur comes across with Robertson, but the final whistle goes, and Richarlison has sprinted to the referee, and he's been shown a yellow card. I'm not sure what the point is that he was making. So a final yellow card for Richarlison, but Liverpool have seen it through to win by 2-1, despite the fact Tottenham had 2 men sent off, Simons and their captain Romero. Isak and Ekitike with the goals, Andy Reid. Liverpool had a 2-0 advantage and were comfortable until Richarlison really put the cat among the pigeons for the closing stages.
Yeah, well, we thought the game was just going to drift away. Comfortable victory for Liverpool. Tottenham down to 10 men. Liverpool really dominating the play, and then Richarlison comes on, gets his team back in it, and from that it was all Tottenham for the last 20 minutes of the game, including injury time. It was all Tottenham. They had some chances, they got men forward, they made it really difficult for Liverpool, and they come out of the game with a lot of credit, I suppose, towards the end that we probably didn't think that they were going to have. But really, really entertaining game, and I say credit to Tottenham for sticking with it and getting themselves back involved.
Apparently right at the end there, Andy, Tottenham felt that there might have been a case for a penalty for a challenge on Brennan Johnson inside the area. That's what Richarlison was doing. He was running to the referee, pointing at the VAR screen, but the whistle's gone, and that's it.
Yeah, I didn't think that there was much in it. I thought it was good play from Odegaard on that left-hand side. He put a decent cross in, and Alisson had done well. I thought they were actually complaining that there wasn't enough time added on because Wirtz in particular, he took a long time to get off the pitch. But really entertaining game, plenty of talking points, some strange decisions from some of the Tottenham players, some good goals, and ultimately it's 3 points for Liverpool.
Andy Reid, thank you very much once again for your company, and a happy Christmas to you.
Same to you, John.
Thanks for the brownies from the Christmas market at King's Cross.
Very well.
And so Andy will go off into the night. You'll be able to have your say on everything that we've seen and described to you from the Tottenham Stadium here this evening. But the result of that for Spurs is a 7th Premier League defeat of the season, a 5th home defeat of the campaign, but for Liverpool now continuing to get warmer with a 3rd win in a row, 6 matches unbeaten in all competitions as the players leave the field. Full-time scores in the National League: Tamworth 2, Southend 1, York City won 4-0 against Truro. During 6:06 we will update you on Everton, Arsenal and Leeds Crystal Palace, which will be getting underway at 8 o'clock.